sisters, need to be about keeping these commandments. This is not what I expected out of them. The true Bible, the book of our fathers.
Right. The Most High has given us guidance on what we need to do.
Talk to Eli. Talk to Nahshon. Talk to Yikiel.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Most High in Christ bless you, Israel. Most High in Christ bless. Most High in Christ bless. Hey, we just did some reworking in our studio, so let's. I think we got to fix a few things here. Mm-hmm. Check the control output. The control output. Turn that up a little bit because that's what's feeding this microphone amplifier. Turn it up a little bit. 1 2 1 2 3 1 2 3, brothers and sisters. 1 2 3. The sound might be good at home, so that's a good thing. That's what counts the most. But I think I can survive this if that's. Oh, how are we looking in there? How are we looking in there? How are we looking? We good?
Good.
All right. All praise to the Most High. Brothers and sisters, shalom. Can I get the screen on here so I can see what's happening? Can we turn this one on, please?
Yes. It's on.
Okay. All right. All praise to the Most High. Can we have my thumbnail? Can we have the thumbnail? The thumbnail, brothers. The thumbnail. The thumbnail. Happy prep day as we prep down to the Sabbath. We are going into our subject today. Leading into the Sabbath, our subject matter is Christianity and the blacked out mind.
Wow.
Christianity and the blacked out mind. The blacked out mind, brothers and sisters. The blacked out mind. You know what? I need to turn my headphones up. I feel like Dave Chappelle a little bit. Turn my headphones up. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Come on with it. I don't know why I'm not getting it. Must be different. 1 2. All right. Never mind. It ain't coming up. I'll figure it out later.
Okay.
So all praise to the Most High. Here we are. We're getting into our program. Christianity and the blacked out mind. Now, I want to basically talk about how Christianity has affected the mind state of our people. But before we do that, let's get into let's get the disclaimer out the way. All right?
Yes, sir.
And then we'll introduce our crew, and then we'll be on with it.
I got you here.
All right. Stay on that for a minute because I'm going to try to figure out what's going on.
All right. Listen, Israel united in Christ, okay? We are not, I repeat, we are not a hate group. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group. Israel United in Christ is a non-violent, Bible-based movement. We do not advocate or condone any acts of violence against any race, ethnicity, or gender. We advise that if anyone hears or knows of any plots to cause harm to anyone,
ain't making a difference, but it's all right,
or to break the laws of the land, you must, I repeat, you must contact the proper authorities to bring awareness to any possible threat as stated in Leviticus chapter 5 and verse 1 of the King James Version Bible.
All right, all praise to the Most High. Now I'm getting a little bit of distortion in my ear. Yeah, cut me. I don't know if it's on this end. Just bear with us, brothers and sisters. We about to get it right. We're not going to have a repeat of what I went through last Sunday. I can't even reach that thing. Take that red down a little bit. Testing 1 2 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3. All right. I guess I'll just leave it like that. Wow, I'm all on the video. Jesus Christ. When I'm moving around, please take me off the screen, man. I'm trying to keep it professional. You know, we rushed in here because we all over the place. So, but we're gonna get into it, brothers and sisters. Please bear with us. But we get ready to get into it now. I'm Bishop Yalsop. We getting ready to get started. So I'm Bishop Yalsop. Let's get the crew in.
All praises Most High. Captain Sariah. Shalom, Israel. Most High Christ bless.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Officer Zaria.
Okay.
Shalom, Most High Christ bless. Officer Gabriel.
Right, all praise to the Most High. So we're about to get set, and I also want to give a thumbs up and a thanks to my crew, my video, my AV crew, my IT crew.
praise.
The brothers on the camera, brothers and sisters that's working inside the booth, I know they're working hard. So I want to give you those shout outs now before we begin. So you know you're up under a lot of pressure now. You know that, right? Because I done said it now. Now we can't mess up. So brothers and sisters, here we are. We're about to get it in. Just y'all keep reminding me if the sound is good, brothers and sisters, because we are testing. We moved some things around in here, so we want to make sure that things are on point. Because that's the way I am. I like perfection, especially when it comes to stuff like this here. So I want to talk about Christianity and the blacked out mind. The blacked out mind and what Christianity does to our thinking. Because we don't. When we have a put that thumbnail up there again. When we have Christianity, because a lot of people, I've been hearing all kind of stuff. You know, people say that Christianity started or was in Africa. And they try to make it seem like the people in Africa embrace white supremacy. That is bull crap. Okay, when the white man came up in there and started conquering, then he brought Christianity in. But see, because a lot of people don't go into the full history about about the quote unquote religion that was there before the so-called white man came with his Christianity, you will actually think that Christianity was actually part of our forefathers' heritage. Wow. Let me get this. Let me lay this thing down crystal clear.
Please do, Bishop.
The Bible is the book of our fathers, and it has absolutely nothing to do with white man Christianity. Has nothing to do with Christianity in these churches. Has absolutely nothing to do with Christianity at all. Not even a little bit. Okay, right. So let's make that distinction. When we talk about the Bible, the Christians, give me that in Acts. Give me that in Acts. Acts 11:26. Acts 11:26. Let's make some distinctions right here. Let's make some distinctions, because they try to say that Christianity started in Africa or it's a part of our culture. Hell no, it ain't. Brothers and sisters don't realize that we were murdered and put to death by the Edomites, that when they took over our lands, they forced Christianity on us, and those of us that did not accept Christianity were murdered. That's the Christianity that you're learning in churches now. Wow. But the doctrine of the real Christians got nothing to do with what you're learning in church right now. Read that. Tell them where you at.
Acts chapter 11, verse 26.
All right.
And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch. And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people. And the disciples were called Christians first.
And the who?
And the disciples.
And the disciples were Israelites. The disciples were Israelites. Give me the book of Matthew 10, 5 and 6. Matthew, the 10th chapter, verse 5.
Matthew chapter 5, verse.
Because the apostles, the disciples, the apostles, the 72, all of them came out of this. Read that.
Matthew chapter 5, verse 6.
10,
the 10th chapter, verse 5. 10th chapter, verse 5.
Sorry. Chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent out, and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Don't go to the way of the nations. That's what he was telling them. Don't go to the way of the Gentiles. This is actually deeper than what it's saying, because it's saying don't go to Northern Kingdom yet. Northern Kingdom was still part of the Israelites. Right. But at that time, Christ was only sending the disciples to the kingdom of Judah. That's the reason why it says what it says in Acts. Hold that. Give me Acts 13:46, I think it is. We turn to the Gentiles. You stay where you at. I'm just bringing these points in to let you know that Christianity is garbage. This thing and you can say it with proudness. You don't have to be nervous about saying right. You don't have to be ashamed, because Christianity is not the Bible. You can wipe your behind with Christianity, and you will not be upsetting anything righteous.
Right.
Okay, get that mess out of your head. Read that.
The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 46. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, It was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you.
The you is Judah. The you is who Christ was talking to, but when he was sending the 12 disciples. Go back to this over here where you was reading. The 12 disciples.
Matthew chapter 10, verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, Go not into the way of the Gentiles, and into any city of the Samaritans enter ye not.
The Samaritans was being called Gentiles. Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
That was talking about Judah at that time. Okay, so now go back to Acts. Thank you. Now get to the Acts. Give me one before that. Give me Corinthians 10. What is it? 10. The one that says ye were once.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Give me that.
The book of 1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
The ye is talking about northern kingdom. Okay. Ye. You know that you were Gentiles. Go ahead.
Carried away unto these dumb idols.
Now, this is paralleling with what we just read in Acts. When you go back to Acts again. Tell them where you're at in Acts.
The book of Acts, chapter 13, verse 46. Then Paul.
What chapter were we in?
Chapter 13, verse 46.
So this was after the time of Cornelius, when the Most High sent for the prophets to go teach Northern Kingdom. Because Acts, the 10th chapter, was when Cornelius came into the picture to bring the gospel to the rest of the tribes. Okay, now the 13th chapter is reiterating that. Read that again.
Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you.
That been spoken to you Jews. That's what we was reading in Matthew 10:5. Go ahead.
But seeing ye put it from you.
Because a lot of the Jews, meaning the Pharisees, so you can understand, the Pharisees and the scribes. This ain't talk about all of Judah. Stop. Give me St. John chapter 8, verse 31. I got to clear, because Christianity is crack. Christianity is crack. Can y'all hear me in the headphones?
Yes, sir.
What's so good? Okay, so it must be my headphones then. I'll figure that out. Read.
John chapter 8, verse 31. Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him, if ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
Then said Jesus to who?
To the Jews.
Read it again.
They said, excuse me. Then Jesus said, sorry.
Take your time, brother.
Yes, sir.
Read it.
Then said Jesus to those Jews which believed on him.
Then said Jesus to those Jews, this is Judah, to those Jews which did what? Which believed on him.
Which believed on him. If ye continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed.
So the point that I'm bringing out is that all of Judah did not turn their back on Christ. Like when he said he came unto his own and his own received him not. It was not talking about all of Judah. It was talking about the scribes and the Pharisees. Right. So that's who Paul then was dealing with over here. Now go back to where we was at over here.
The book of Acts chapter 13 verse 46. Then Paul and Barnabas waxed bold and said, it was necessary that the word of God should first have been spoken to you. But
to you Jews, meaning the scribes and the Pharisees, because they were rejecting it. Go ahead.
But seeing ye put it from you.
But see that you rejected it, so it ain't talk about all of Judah, because Nicodemus was a Jew that believed in Christ. Go ahead.
And judge yourselves unworthy.
And judge you Pharisees unworthy.
Of everlasting life.
Of everlasting life. That's what Romans the 11th chapter is about, by the way. The branches that were broken off. That's what that's talking about there. Read.
Lo, we turn to the Gentiles.
We turn to Northern Kingdom. That's what this is saying. Now, give me the thing in Corinthians. Ye were Gentiles. Give me that.
The book of 1 Corinthians.
Turn the reader up. Somebody said turn the reader's mic up a little bit more. I guess that's you, Gabriel, right? When you read, maybe. I don't know.
The book of
Go ahead.
The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 12, verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
That you were Gentiles. You were Gentiles. You were Gentiles. Who is these? The Northern Kingdom, the other tribes. Ephraim, the kingdom of Ephraim. So you can understand. Go ahead.
Carried away unto these dumb idols, even as you were led.
Because they were carried. Because Esau. Damn. I'm up there reading and trying to. Ephraim was drawn to idols. That's what I was trying to say. Ephraim is drawn. That's the scripture that says that. Ephraim was drawn. Can we find that real quick? Then that's the reason why it's saying what it's saying there. Because Ephraim was following idols. There's a scripture that tells you that.
Yes, sir.
Ephraim is drawn to idols. Leave him alone. Something like that, right?
Yes, sir.
You got it? Read it. Tell them where you at.
The book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 17.
The book of Hosea is dealing with Ephraim. That whole book is dealing with Ephraim. Go ahead.
Ephraim is joined to idols.
Ephraim is joined to idols. That's the reason why in the Apocrypha it says when it says that the split came, it says during the time of Hosea the king, the split happened because that was up under Ephraim. These so-called Christians don't know any history at all. They're a bunch of liars. And you so-called Negroes, Hispanics is tied up with them. You're going to die. Right. You better get your head out of that foolishness. Okay? Your preacher ain't teaching you the Bible. Teaching you white man lies is going to get you killed. Right. Just like what's going on all over the system now. Now they got quote unquote sporadic killings going all over the place because the Edomites are mad. Okay,
right.
Read.
Hosea.
We're gonna get into that. You know we're gonna get into that. Okay, I'm just setting the stage right now. Where you at?
Hosea chapter 4 verse 17. Ephraim is joined to idols.
Ephraim is joined to idols. That's why it said that in Corinthians. Ephraim is joined to idols. Read.
Let him alone.
Let him alone, because they're gonna have to go through the punishment. The Most High, give me Hosea 5:15 so you can understand why it's saying leave him alone. Hosea 5:15.
The book of Hosea chapter 5 verse 15. I will go and return to my place till they acknowledge their offense and seek my face. In their affliction they will seek me early.
In Ephraim's affliction, in all of our affliction, we will seek the Most High. That's the reason why the Most High is turning Esau loose on us now, because he's trying to gather us up. Okay, so go back to Corinthians, where we was at.
1 Corinthians chapter 12 verse 2. Ye know that ye were Gentiles.
That you were Gentiles. You were Gentiles. Go ahead.
Carried away unto these dumb idols.
Because they were being brought back to Christ. That's the point. So when we was reading in Acts, when it said it was first given to Judah and the scribes and the Pharisees turned away from that, then Paul and Barnabas said, well, we're gonna go and deal with Northern Kingdom. That's how that goes. None of that has anything to do with you learning in church. That message you learning in church have nothing to do with this history that we just read. Right. Nothing. Now, go back to Corinthians. I mean, the Matthew 10:5. Matthew 10:5. Where you was at? We're gonna read 5 to 7.
Matthew chapter 10 verse 5. These 12 Jesus sent forth and commanded them, saying, go not into the way of the Gentiles.
Go not into the way of the nations. Go not into the way of, not only said go not into the way of the nations, but don't even deal with the other tribes yet, because the Spirit have not dealt with the northern tribes at this point. Go ahead.
And into any city of the Samaritans.
The Samaritans was the Israelites. That was Ephraim specifically. Go ahead.
Enter ye not.
Enter ye not. Don't deal with Ephraim yet, because they ain't ready. They still drawing the idols. Go ahead.
But go rather to the lost sheep of the house of Israel.
Go to Judah. That's what he was saying. Go to Judah. Judah is the one that's I'm starting out with, because Christ came out of that tribe. Go deal with the Judas. Go deal with Judah first. That's why it said that in Acts. Okay. So now that we got that out of the way, y'all all right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now the gospel is coming all the way down the line, getting Northern Kingdom, getting Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom, because it's time for us to repent now. So with that understanding, let me talk about Christianity, because what you just heard is the real gospel. What y'all learning in church ain't the gospel at all. That is not the Christian. Oh, I didn't finish that. Acts 11:26. That's what I needed. We didn't finish that. Let's read that again to put the right date on it. Put the right name on it.
The book of Acts chapter 11 verse 26. And when he had found him, he brought him unto Antioch.
Go ahead.
And it came to pass that a whole year they assembled themselves with the church and taught much people.
Go ahead.
And the disciples.
And the who?
And the disciples.
And the disciples. These are the Israelites. These are not talking about Edomites. Ain't talking about Arabs. Ain't talking about Africans, Chinese, Japanese. None of that. These disciples was Israelites. Go ahead. It says what? And the what?
And the disciples were called Christians first in Antioch.
The disciples was called Christians. So that's the real Christians. When you want to talk about Christians, that's the Christians that we talk about. This stuff that you call Christianity is not what we just read.
Right. That's right.
Okay, so let's understand and get that 100% clear, or we ain't bugging out no more. So now let's get on with our topic. Christianity and the blacked out mind of the Negro, because that's what we talk about. Mm-hmm. The blacked out mind. Put that thumbnail up there again. Keep that up there for a second. Mm-hmm. Turn me up a little bit.
Okay.
Turn up that red thing a little bit. I need to hear something coming out. Let's come on away with it. All right. Come on. A little bit more. We'll figure this thing out later on. All right. All praises. Thank you. So now, now we're getting ready to come back. You can bring it back on. And you can sometimes get the readers too. Get everybody in the shot. And I see me up there too much, even when brothers is reading. Y'all be on the set, all right? I don't want to be trying to deal with what's going on in there while I'm dealing with the lesson, because I want to get on into it. We got a lot to bring out, and we want to put it into the microphones. Okay, so like I said, this whole thing about Christianity has dulled our senses to perceive reality. Christianity is a program that is designed by our enemies to shut off the connection between the mind and the spirit. Now, I know I just said something there. Now, I'm going to say that again. I'm going to say it again. I'm going to break it down. Christianity has dulled our senses to perceive reality correctly. Christianity is also basically a program that is designed by our enemies to shut off the connection between the mind and the spirit. The spirit is what we have in us. Let's read that. Give me Job 32, verse 7 and 8. I said that Christianity is designed to shut off or break or intercept the connection between the mind and the spirit. Okay, let's read that. Job 32, verse 7.
Job chapter 32, verse 7. I said, days...
Read Lil, put some fire in it. Come on, bro.
Yes, sir. I said,
read
days...
after at camp if you have to.
Yes,
Come
sir.
on.
Yes, sir. I said, days should speak.
Days should speak. The many years that we've been on it, black people been in this damn country forever. Right. Why no? All these years and generations should have taught us that the white man is the devil, and his Christianity program is not for us at all. They're going to give us a white... Now, I know some people might get upset. They say, why are you calling the white man the devil? This is the reason why they shooting us down. Negroes are so doggone afraid of this truth coming out because they think that white people are going to get mad and attack them. So that's the reason why they're really against us. I want you to understand the mind of the Negro. Negroes are so upset about this truth that we're bringing out this truth. They know what we're saying is true, but they're afraid that when white people hear it, white people are going to get mad because white people are uncomfortable. And if the white man is uncomfortable, the Negro is uncomfortable. And he says, y'all need to be quiet. But secretly, I love listening to y'all. But in reality, I can't let the white man see I'm listening to you. Okay? So that's the deal there. That's what we need to realize. That's what Christianity has done. Okay? So I just wanted to make that point. Read that again. 32 and 7.
The book of Job, chapter 32, verse 7. I said, days should speak.
Go ahead.
And multitude of years should teach wisdom.
A multitude of years should teach a man some wisdom. Our literal fathers and our grandparents, they know what the hell they've been through in this country. We coming up and we see it. We understand it, and we going through the same hell. We know that this man hates our guts. It's a perpetual hatred that these people display towards us. Right. It's no doubt about it. It ain't got nothing to do whether we teach the truth or not. They hated you from birth.
Right.
God made it that way. You trying to undo that. And Christianity has been lying to you, causing you to walk into the lion's den and get bit up. Talk about these are God's people. You crazy as hell. Okay? So read that again. Speed it up.
Yes, sir. Verse 7. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom.
It should teach a man wisdom, but it doesn't always teach. Some people don't learn after years and years and years of beat down, oppression, whippings, firings, lynchings, burnings, rape, castrations. We still ain't learned it. Go ahead.
But there is a spirit in man.
But there is a spirit in man. Remember, I was making a point that Christianity cuts off the connection between mind and spirit. I'm going to get a little deep on you a little bit in the opening. Okay? But there is a spirit in a man. Go ahead, read on.
And the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding.
And the inspiration of God giveth that man in that spirit understanding. Giveth him understanding. So the spirit that's inside the man is your actual conscience. Is you. It's the real you. The mind is the motor, so to speak, that moves the body. You have to have a mind in order to get from point A to point B. But the spirit is the spirit that's within you. Give me that in Ecclesiastes, I think it is Ecclesiastes. Who knoweth the spirit? 3 and 18 or 19.
Yes, sir. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 3.
Verse 19, right?
Verse 19.
What does it say?
For that which befalleth.
Read the 18th verse.
Verse 18. I said in mine heart concerning the estate of the sons of men.
Go ahead.
That God might manifest them, and that they might see that they themselves are beasts.
Read on.
For that which befalleth the sons of men befalleth beasts.
So that the same thing that falls on mankind or men also happens to beasts on this earth, like cows and giraffes and lions and tigers. Go ahead.
Even one thing befalleth them.
Even one thing befalleth both man and beast. Go ahead. That thing is death. Go ahead.
As the one dieth.
As the beast dieth,
so dieth the other.
so dieth the man. So death gets both. Go ahead.
Yea, they have all one breath.
Yea, the man has one breath and the beast has one breath. Go ahead.
So that a man hath no preeminence above a beast.
In other words, death gets both. No, neither one of us have preeminence in terms of death. Like death don't get me, but it only gets you. Death gets man and beast. That's why it's saying has no preeminence. Go ahead.
For all is vanity.
For all is vanity when it comes to death. Death is getting to both. Read.
All go unto one place.
All go into one place, meaning the bodies. Go ahead.
All are of the dust.
All are of the dust. These bodies are of the dust. Go ahead.
And all turn to dust again.
And all these bodies, the man's body and the beast's body, turns to dust again. Read.
Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward?
The spirit of man goeth upward. That's the real you. The spirit of man goes up to be judged by the Father, so you can understand when you read the book of Revelation, the 20th chapter. So the spirit of man goes up. That's the real you. That's you and me. That's the real us, not these bodies. The mind basically is the motor in a car, so you can understand. The driver of the car is you. You're the spirit. The spirit that's in the car, you got to drive. If you want to get your car to go from point A to point B, the spirit might want to go. But if the motor is not working, you can want to go over and over, and the car ain't going to go nowhere. So the connection between the spirit and the mind, which is the motor of the car, has to be in sync. When you sit in that car to drive and you want to go somewhere, there's certain things that you have to do physically to get the car to operate, to be in sync with the thoughts in the mind, which is coming from the spirit. The spirit says, I want to go to that store, I want to get that, and I want to go here, I want to do this, and I want to go there. The spirit does that, and it tells the mind how to operate the body so that we can make the car do what it needs to do. But if there's no motor in the car, the spirit is troubled. The spirit wants to go, but it has no mind. It has no motor to go anywhere, so the spirit is sitting in the car frustrated.
No direction.
No direction, even though it's got plenty of sense. It wants to go, but it can't go because the motor to move the body is not there. That's when your mind is messed up. Christianity has a grip on that mind where you can't even think.
Wow. That's true.
Your spirit knows that you're learning lies, but the Christianity says ignore it. And then your spirit is frustrated. Your spirit is saying, can't you see that this is bull crap? And your mind, because it's turned upside down by Satan, there's the separation where the spirit is saying, listen, how in the world that we can read that Christ is black in the Bible? Your mind says, I don't want to accept it. I don't want to drive down the road where the truth is. I don't want to mess with any of that at all. The spirit is frustrated. The spirit said, can't you see? Your spirit is showing. Your spirit sees what color these people really are. And you talk about some white people, for an example. Your eyes are seeing it. But your mind turned upside down by Satan talking about I see white people. You ain't seen no white people ever.
Right.
You ain't seen no black people ever. That's what I'm talking about when I say that there's a separation between the reality. Your spirit sees reality. Your spirit is oppressed. Your spirit is catching hell, worried, stressed out, all of that. But your mind needs to be in sync with your spirit to help you get your body, your spirit, everything out of harm's way. But because your mind is upside down, you continue to agree with your enemies, agree with slavery, agree with captivity, and then your mind gets pissed off. Your spirit gets pissed off. Give me Proverbs. I'm going like I said, I'm going to go a little heavy on you. Give me Proverbs. Now you understand what the scripture means. Proverbs 13:12. This is the reason why the scripture says what it says here.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 13, verse 12. Hope deferred maketh the heart sick.
Hope deferred. The hope comes from your spirit. Your spirit says, you know what? We need to do something for ourselves. We need to be able to apply Zephaniah 2:1. We need to be able, because the spirit needs that. The Spirit needs that thing. The Spirit said, let us get together and let us come together as brothers. Let us come together as sisters. Let us come together as family. That's what your spirit is saying. But when you try to get your mind to actually move in that direction, get your mind to move in that action, your mind gets fearful because your mind is underneath the doctrine of white supremacy, Christianity, and your mind basically tells your spirit to shut up. And now your spirit is oppressed. Read that again.
Hope deferred maketh the heart sick.
So the hope that the spirit is trying to live, because it can't live that, it makes the mind sick. It makes the heart sick because it cannot realize what it's really designed to realize because the mind is upside down on that Tyrone's table, that clone Tyrone. By the way, we're going to finish that subject up. I'm not done with it. You might as well, when we did the Tyrone, the clone thing, you call that part one. We're dealing with the Negro and Christianity, which would be part two because we're going to do this, and then next week we're going to do a continuation of this. Then we're going back to finish explaining the laboratory that the Negro is in, the Tyrone lab. So we ain't done yet. Okay, just put that out there. So I'm just getting these points in here. Read that again.
Hope deferred maketh the heart sick. But when the desire cometh.
But when the hope cometh that the spirit needs to be refreshed, when the spirit actually get what it wants, when the mind is in sync with the spirit, so you can understand, then what?
It is a tree of life.
It is a tree of life. I don't have to feel sick anymore because my mind is operating in the proper spirit that my spirit wants. I'm in the car. I'm the spirit that's in the car. The motor is agreeing with me, and we getting ready to drive. We going to the kingdom of heaven. Everybody's in sync. The car's in sync with my mind. The motor, everything is in sync. That's how the spirit feels. But when the brain is intercepted by Christianity, it doesn't tell the truth when it comes to what's in the spirit. Right. The spirit is saying, "Can't you see what this is about?" That's why you black people are leaving the church now, because you know your spirit is not being fed. Right. You know you're being lied to. You know that.
Right.
You know that. And the preachers are running around crazy trying to find out what's going on here. What's going on is that the spirit is saying, listen, I need to get my mind right. Because my mind is messed up. My mind is not in agreement with my spirit. Because Christianity has intercepted that. That's the point. So that I just wanted to bring those parts out. Okay, give me Romans, the 5th chapter. Okay, because Romans, the 7th chapter. Because like I said, Christianity is designed by our enemies to shut off the connection between our mind and spirit. And we are in our spirit, we know something is wrong with the reality that we live in. But the mind and the brain, meaning our thinking, is under a spell that disconnects the spirit within us from the mind that's supposed to figure things out to bring about the endeavoring purpose of the spirit within us. I hope they understood that. I had to make sure I read that because I wrote that. I wanted to make sure I read it properly. Let me say that again. In our spirit, we know that something is wrong with the reality that we live in. But the mind, which is the brain, the mind and the brain, which is our thinking, is under a spell that disconnects the real spirit in us. Like I said, there's a spirit in man. But our thinking has been changed. Our mind, our thinking is controlled by Christianity to the point where we operate under a spell that disconnects our thinking from what our spirit really needs. And it's disconnected from that. And because our spirit is supposed to be able to figure things out to bring about the endeavoring purpose of the spirit that is within us. Okay, so there's a disconnect there, and Christianity is the mental block. We'll be teaching in camp. We read the scriptures about Christ is black, the Deuteronomy 28, read about Ephraim and all that. Read about all of these things, and they say, yes, that's true. So why is it that they still resist at the end? Because sometimes they listen to all of that teaching, and then one little bird fly by, boop, and they're gone. That's because that fear from that mind said discount all of that. So now the spirit is oppressed again. And the mind says, let's go back to the death camps called Christianity. And that's what happens to our people. That's what's happening. So we need to understand that. Mind and spirit, Romans 7, verse 15.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 15. For that which I do, I allow not.
This is the Apostle Paul. He's talking about the thought of concupiscence. He said, for that which I allow not, No, read it again.
For that which I do,
For that which I do, because I'm thinking on this concupiscence. Go ahead.
I allow not.
The I that's not allowing it is his righteous spirit. His righteous spirit is saying, don't think that way. But the mind, being up underneath the temptation of concupiscence, is still entertaining that thought. Read that again.
For that.
I'm showing you that there's a separation here. Paul is addressing that here. This is what's going on in your churches, but you don't listen to the Spirit at all. You listen to the satanic mindset that has been put in you by Christianity.
Right.
Read.
For that which I do, I allow not. For that.
For that which I end up doing, my spirit says, no, don't do that. Go ahead.
For what I would.
For what I would do, what my spirit really wants to do,
that do I not.
my mind will not work in sync with my spirit. It continues to go down the wrong path, adverse to what my spirit really wants. Go ahead.
But what I hate.
But what I hate to do, which is what Christianity has taught me to do, go ahead.
That do I.
I end up doing it because my mind has been trained to follow lies. Go ahead.
If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good.
Because the law is showing you, the law coming through our spirit is letting us know that what we are participating in this Christianity is wrong. That's the reason why you're questioning what's going on in your churches right now, because you know that's not right. Go ahead, read.
Now then, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
Sin is how Christianity operates. Sin is the sea that Christianity runs on. You can still be a homosexual. You can still be an adulterer. You can still be a lesbian, a thief, a crook, a robber, a murderer. You can still be all of these things. It's all good in white Jesus.
Right.
That's Christianity. That's not the Bible. Read that again.
Now then, it is no more I that do it.
It is no more the spirit in me that wants to do this. Go ahead.
But sin that dwelleth in me.
Dwelleth in my mind because it's controlled by Christianity. I'm bringing it up to date where we are now today. Go ahead.
For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
The spirit, the mind is talking about the flesh, meaning in your mind. This is what he said, dwelleth no good thing, because this right here has been tampered with. People talking about what's been tampered with. Your mind has been tampered with.
Right.
Where it's not even in connection with what your spirit really needs. Go ahead.
For to will is present with me.
For me, because I want to do what my spirit wants me to do, but my mind cannot figure out the way to get it done. And that leaves a particular frustration. When the mind will not cooperate and give the spirit what it really wants, what ends up happening? Because now there's a war between the two. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to hear that voice constantly saying, you know what, I don't need to be doing this. I don't need this is your spirit telling your mind, I don't need to be dealing with this kind of thing here. I don't need to be smoking that dope. I don't need to be drinking all this alcohol. I don't need to be prostituting. I don't need to be pimping my women out, sleeping around and committing adultery and all that. I don't need to be doing this. Read that again.
For I know that in me, that is in my flesh,
go ahead,
dwelleth no good thing.
Because these are the thoughts, like it says in another part of the scripture, it said the thoughts of, what is that, 7:21, one of the scriptures, all those bad things that's in them. What is it, Matthew 7:21?
Mark 7:21.
Mark 7:21. Read that real quick. These are the things that dwell within us.
The book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
For from within, out of the heart of men.
The heart of men is mind. The heart of the man is the mind. Listen to what's in the man's mind. Go ahead.
Proceed evil thoughts.
Proceed evil thoughts, because your thoughts come from the mind. As a man thinketh, he ends up being that. But your spirit is in the background crying because it wants to do right. Go ahead.
Adulteries.
That's in the mind. Read.
Fornication.
Read.
Murders. Thefts.
Covetousness.
Wickedness. Deceit. Lasciviousness. And evil eye.
Envious towards your brothers. Go ahead.
Blasphemies. Pride.
Foolishness.
All these evil things come from within. And defile the man.
And they defile the spirit. They defile the mind. They defile the man, because the spirit that's in man is at war. That's what another part of the scripture said, that the members that's warring within us. That's what it's talking about. So your spirit is saying you should not be dealing with adultery. You should not be dealing with this. You should not be dealing with that. That's your spirit. But your mind keeps doing it. And if your mind keeps doing it, your spirit is constantly getting on you. This is what they call your conscience. Your conscience is saying you keep on messing up. Your conscience keep beating you up. At one point, you're going to be like, you know what? I'm tired of my spirit getting on me. So now let me get the dope to nullify the spirit. Let me get that cocaine to nullify the real truth in me. Let me nullify the brothers that's telling me to stop doing that. Let me nullify the truth coming from the Israelites when we're on the streets teaching. Christianity will roll by in a car and basically say, stop listening to the Israelites. It's the same thing. Your choice of drug could be anything. Could be alcohol, could be Christianity, could be a myriad of things. But all of it is designed for you it's designed to shut your spirit down. To shut down the righteousness that God is trying to work with you.
Right.
That's the whole point. So your spirit is constantly getting on you. Your conscience is constantly saying you're in the wrong. Stop doing that. You need to silence that voice. That's what the mind says. How are we going to, the controlled Christianity mind says, silence that spirit from chastising you because you continue to want to do wrong, and the spirit of God is constantly chastising you. You want to shut that voice down. So give me that dope. Give me that alcohol. Give me Christianity. Because Christianity says it's all right in Jesus.
Crackianity.
Crackanity.
Damn.
That's the same thing. I want y'all to seriously understand it because it's a hell of a drug. Okay? So now, let me show you how bad Christianity is. Give me my first video.
Oh, boy.
Here we go. I got more here. Hey, I was going to read some more. You know what? Let me just finish this out, then give me my video. Finish that in Romans. Yes. Let's finish that so I ain't got to go back to that.
Yes, sir. The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 18. For I know that in me, that is in my flesh, dwelleth no good thing.
Meaning the thoughts of Christianity. I'm bringing it up to date. Go ahead.
For to will is
for my spirit wants to do the right thing. That's what the will is. For to will is present within me. The spirit wants to be able to come to the truth and stay in the truth. Go ahead.
For to will is present with me.
Go ahead.
But how to perform that which...
But hold it. That's the part right there. I needed to read this. Go ahead. But what?
But how to perform that which is good, I find not.
But in other words, to get my brain to operate the way the spirit needs me to operate, I can't find a way to do that. So that's where the frustration comes in. The frustration comes in when you cannot find the road to the hope that you're looking for. Therefore, your hope to really deal with your spirit is deferred. And because you can't reach it, your mind goes crazy. That's where the psych ward comes in. That's where the dope comes in. That's where Christianity comes in. All of it is the same thing because you cannot come to grips that your mind is not right. Your mind cannot put anything together to satisfy your spirit in terms of righteousness. Read that statement again where you was at.
But how to perform.
But how to perform. In other words, my spirit is trying to get the motor in the car to do right. Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
That which is good, I find not.
I cannot figure out how to get this car to start. I'm the driver, and I know I need to go somewhere, but the engine is all messed up. There's sugar all in the gas tank. The CPU is all messed up. That's your mind on Christianity. Your mind ain't working well at all. Mm-hmm. But the spirit is in the car frustrated. The spirit is frustrated, can't move, trapped in a body that can't function. That's hell. Yep. That's hell. That is pure hell. That's like I don't want to use this. That's like a child. A child is born with a mental affliction. Because some people don't understand how that really works. Right. A child that's born with a real mental affliction, what they call autistic and severe mental retardation and stuff like that.
Right.
There's still a spirit in that child. Mm-hmm. But the spirit cannot get the mind to do what the body should do. Right. I've seen this, working in certain areas. Right. I've seen when a child starts acting up because the child gets frustrated because he can't get his arms to move the way he wanted to move, can't say the words that he want to say. That's the mind not being able to connect with the spirit that wants to be able to express himself, that wants to be able to walk down the aisle or do this or do that. Right. They can't figure it out. That's what's happening to us in the spirit. The spirit wants to be able to say, you know what, I want to get up, I want to put my shirt on, I want to put my pants on, my belt buckle and all that. I want to do those things, but when I try to get my mind to do it, the mind is taking stuff off the shelf rather than putting my clothes on. Mm-hmm. So there's some real battle going on between the spirit and the mind. Yeah. I use that drastic example to show you what's happening when it comes to people in Christianity. That's same thing.
That's a heavy example, Bishop.
Okay,
exactly right.
That's the point. So when I said that we basically in a car, we are the spirit in a car. We know what we want the car to do, but if the car cannot cooperate with the brain, which is the motor, to make the car move, you're just sitting there trying to drive, and the car ain't going nowhere, and you're frustrated.
It's an endless fight.
It's an endless fight. Christianity makes sure that we don't connect with our motor. Okay. But the motor knows where the truth is. Right. You know where the truth is, but because you are in fear with Christianity as a weaponized weapon against you, you will not even speak in favor of the truth.
Hey, Christianity knows who the mechanics are.
Exactly. Right on. Exactly. They say, here you coming to fix. Who the hell are you to come educate my niggers? Right. That's basically what it's saying. You trying to fix the brain that we messed up?
Right.
You're a hate group.
Right.
Same thing. So you can understand. Just wanted to bring those points out. All right. Roman. Read on.
Verse 19. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do.
Go ahead.
Now, if
I end up doing it because that's Christianity has separated the two. Go ahead.
Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it.
Because the white man's Christianity has taken over. That's the point he's saying. Go ahead.
But sin that dwelleth in me.
But Christianity that dwelleth within us. Your mind is completely shut down at this point. Go ahead. I mean, your spirit is completely oppressed and shut down at this point. Because you ain't listening to what the spirit say. The spirit of God, so you can understand. Read on.
Sickness is there.
The sickness is there. Go ahead.
I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me.
Because the law reveals where your mind should be. That's the point. That's the reason why you don't teach the law in church. Because the mind will let the brain know that you are in sin. So you want to get rid of that. Don't read the Old Testament. All that kind of stuff. All throughout the scriptures, Christ keep the commandments. Even in the last book of the Bible, right. Revelation 12. Give me that. Revelation 12:14. Tell you to keep the commandments. How come the churches ain't teaching that?
Right. Right. That's a good point.
The book of Revelation, chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments.
Blessed are they that do his commandments. Go ahead.
That they may have right to the tree of life.
That they might have right to drive the car to the kingdom. That's the point. That the Spirit knows how to work with that motor to drive the whole entire automobile to the kingdom. Go ahead.
And may enter in through the gates into the city.
And enter in through the gates of the city. That's what it said, right?
Yes, sir.
All praises to the Lord. That's what's wrong with us today. We do not have that connection. Our spirit is troubled, and our minds are programmed to be against the Spirit of God. And so when the Spirit of God that's within you is trying to resonate with the scriptures, but Christianity comes in and intercepts your brain. And where you can't, where the wavelengths that's trying to get to your head is cut off, the frequencies are changed. You can't resonate with it.
Bishop, can he read 15?
That's
Christianity right there.
Go ahead, read it.
Verse 15. For without are dogs and sorcerers and whoremongers and murderers and idolaters and whosoever loveth and maketh a lie.
That's Christianity right there all day long. All in that you just read, okay, is Christianity. That's all I wanted to say.
All praise to the Lord. We about to turn it up. I'm almost done with my parts. Read on in that Romans.
The book of Romans, chapter 7, verse 20. Now, if I do that I would not, it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me.
In other words, it's Christianity that dwelleth in us. Go ahead.
I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me.
When I would do good, Christianity comes back and intercepts the good. Go ahead.
For I delight in the law of God.
My spirit delights in the law of God. Go ahead.
After the inward man.
Because there is a spirit in man, so you can understand. The spirit that's on the inward part recognizes the evil that we're doing. But your programmed brain is programmed to turn that off. Go ahead.
But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind.
That's the war that I was talking about. In order for the war to stop, you end up taking drugs. You get drunk. You're getting high on all kinds of barbiturates and hallucinatory products. And Christianity is the biggest dope needle of all times. Go ahead.
And bringing me into captivity of the law of sin, which is in my members.
You see that? So that's the whole point there. The law reveals to our spirit, and our spirit is trying to get our mind in sync so that we can move our bodies towards Christ. That's the whole point right there. Now, the dangers of Christianity. Let's play the video. All right, I'm going to turn y'all loose now. Y'all all right, Captain?
Yes.
Let me show you what Christianity does. Started from the beginning.
Bring it out.
Okay, let's just let this thing ride. This is what Christianity does.
He looks like a zombie.
Yes. Now this is show it on the screen so we can see who we talk about. This is Gene, the brother who was the brother of the victim, Botham Jean, who was killed by the police officer Amber Geiger, and the title is "I Forgive You." Why black people feel like we always have to be the first ones to say "I forgive"? Right. Nobody talk about forgiving. They don't forgive us. They throw our butts in jail with no question about it at all. Go ahead.
For myself, I
turn it up. Turn it up. Let's get these sounds right. Let's back it up. Let's get.
For myself, I forgive. I forgive you.
That's good. I keep forgetting.
And I know if you go to God and ask Him, He will forgive you. And I don't think anyone could say it. Again, I'm speaking for myself, not even bad for my family. But I love you just like anyone else. And I'm not gonna say I hope you rot and die just like my brother did, but I personally want the best for you. And I wasn't gonna ever say this in front of my family or anyone, but I don't even want you to go to jail. I want the best for you. Because I know that's exactly what both of them would want you to do. And the best would be give your life to Christ. I'm not going to say anything else. I think giving your life to Christ would be the best thing that both of them would want you to do.
Am my voice on?
Yes, sir. We can hear you, Bishop.
Yeah,
Again, I love you.
The Christianity is tearing him up right now.
Yeah, that's all over.
Christianity is just tearing his butt up.
He gone.
He's the brother of a victim that was murdered for eating ice cream that he paid for. Let's line it up. Both of them, while he worked in like an investment bank or something, I forget. He had a rather prestigious job. He came home and he was in his own apartment eating his own ice cream that he paid for. He didn't steal it. Maybe if he stole it, maybe he might have been deserved to get put to death. I don't know. But he paid for the ice cream with the job that he worked on, sitting in his own house, in his own apartment, eating ice cream, watching TV, and end up dead because of racist teachings. The cop went in there and saw a black man. All of a sudden, he's a threat. That's what we tend to just blot out. Our spirit knows this. Our spirit knows that we are hated for how we look. But the mind has to justify evil by shutting off the common sense that the spirit is trying to tell us. It ain't really what you see. Shut up all that noise. That's what the mind says to the spirit. The mind is controlled by Christianity. The spirit is controlled by God. The spirit says you know what it is. Right. The reality is what it is, but the mind underneath the auspices of Satan, which is Christianity, works inside the mind of Negroes, blacks his brain out where he can't think, and then justifies evil.
So, Bishop, when we say, according to Scripture, say the spirit is willing, but the flesh, that fleshly carnal mind,
that's the point,
is weak.
Is weak, super weak. It's weak.
And that's what I'm witnessing right now.
Listen to this thing here. Play on.
And I don't wish anything bad on you. I don't know if this is possible, but can I give her a hug, please?
Oh, God.
Please?
Hear what they say? Okay, you want to switch them out?
Yes.
Oh,
Now, notice this. Look at this. Look at this here.
Oh, God.
That's Christianity.
Hugging Caesar both.
That's Jesus. He had to hug Jesus. Jesus saved me from my evil thoughts of wanting justice for my brother.
this is like a sideshow.
It is
This is like a soap opera.
This is absolutely. I hear people boo-hooing in the daggone brothers. This is Lord. I can't take it. This is crazy, 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 and this ain't funny. This is the Negro's
real.
mind in Christianity. This is it. This is
Right.
what Christianity wants. This is what Christianity wants.
Now,
Damn. Go ahead, Captain.
no, I want to say, pause for a minute. Now, I know for a fact, just like what you're saying, the spirit is speaking to the mind, and my mind knows if this was the other way around, you would not even see that.
Right.
Nowhere near would you see or hear any of that going on
Hey,
there.
not only that, hey, you've seen situations where black people have killed members of their family, and you see the family members jumping over people trying to get it.
Right,
They ain't trying to hug them at all.
Right.
Whole family.
The whole family in court, tearing the courtroom
You're
up.
right. And they know that's what's
They
going to go down.
tearing the courtroom up.
Yep. You
Tearing the
right, Bishop.
courtroom up.
Cursing them out and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
He wouldn't even have made it to court.
Exactly.
Right.
Oh, Lord. You talking something now.
Damn.
Yeah.
So this is what we're talking about. Lord have mercy. Hey, we're going to take a commercial break at some point because I do want to kind of figure this thing out. Because I can't even hear what's going on, and I don't know how I'm sounding, brothers and sisters. Y'all let me know. Does it seem like that we're rolling pretty good?
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I
Yeah,
can
yeah.
hear you
very,
good,
very
Bishop.
hard for me to determine as I'm moving it in.
Yes, sir.
But okay, so Cap, y'all want to respond to this before we take the commercial break?
Yeah,
Anybody
that's-
jump on
I
in.
think-
Like him, what you got
yeah.
for me?
You know, I was
You
thinking
got them
about it.
glasses on there. You can't listen, you cannot come on the show with new glasses and not drop some heavy stuff. You can't do that. So come on with it.
So I was
Put them
thinking
glasses
about,
to
Say,
work.
what do you see?
The Malcolm X glasses, huh?
Oh my goodness! So
Go ahead.
you mentioned the forgetting and the fact that they want us to forget or move past things that even as recently as this,
Right.
which had just taken place, but things like Pearl Harbor, they don't want to forget.
Exactly.
20 years prior to that, they used the military that they say was attacked during
Right.
Pearl Harbor to fly over Black Wall Street and use those weapons on American soil on
Right.
those people that that inhabited that area of Oklahoma. So it's the
The
hypocrisy,
Tulsa massacre.
the massacre, right?
Right.
The murder, the Pearl Harbor before
Right.
Japan
Right.
did Pearl Harbor over here. That's forgetting.
So it's forget all the trauma that y'all have been through,
Right.
Right.
and focus on what we go through.
Right. What we're showing you is that Christianity is the culprit of all this sick thinking. And we getting ready to go into some heavier stuff when we come back. Are we ready for the break? Yes, sir. Brothers and sisters, we'll be right back after this break. We got to fix my little apparatus here.
Oh,
We'll
praise.
be right back. I don't know what.
That thing make you sick, man.
While y'all fighting over blocks and street corners, his mind, he said, my mind is gone. I'm out of the United States of America. I'm looking at continents. I'm surveying the earth.
Who gave us the name Sierra Leone? Who gave us the name Haitians? Who gave us the name Jamaicans? African American? Who put those names on us? The white man. That's right. God says you're Judah of the nation of Israel. God says you're Benjamin of the nation of Israel. But we left that. Read it again. Shalom.
We are the Israelites. You are a descendant of Jesus Christ, Moses, the apostles, and we're going to prove to you in the Bible by biblical proof and historical fact that we are the people of God.
In Matthew, Christ commanded the disciples to say, go ye into all nations, baptizing them in the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost, teaching them to observe whatsoever I've commanded. In 2 Corinthians chapter 10, around verse 16, I believe,
the U.S. government promised newly freed black Americans 40 acres and a mule, providing an opportunity for them to build.
I want y'all to see this map. We are entering into Mexico.
Shalom hermanos y hermanas, bienvenido a IUIC Tijuana. Israel unido en Cristo ha llegado a México. Estamos aquí para enseñar nuestra familia mexicana, nuestra familia haitiana que viven aquí. Los morenos, los latinos, los indios nativos somos una familia.
We have no foundations as yet here. Understand, we have no foundation. We have teaching, but no foundation.
No, familia, soy oficial de Linwood de Israel Unido en Cristo. Estoy aquí en Honduras, tratando de levantar el tribu desde Bilón.
Soy Israel, este soldado Emanuel aquí en el Guasú, Nicaragua, haciendo labor, tratando de despertar a la gente, pasando panfletos, hablando con algunos, a quienes escuchan, a quienes no. Hay mucho trabajo que hacer, no es fácil, pero aquí estamos.
Shalom familia, Altísimo y Cristo los bendiga, este soldado Elaya de IUIC Belice. Así que estamos aquí haciendo el trabajo, haciendo misiones de panfletos, hablando con la gente y hacemos lo más para crecer y hacer esa ayuda a la gente que está aquí en Belice.
Hermano Ezra, representando a IUIC Guatemala, todas alabanzas. Le enseño a nuestra gente que Jesucristo, de acuerdo a la Biblia, es un hombre negro y que nosotros somos los verdaderos israelitas y que debemos guardar los mandamientos y la fe en Jesucristo.
The Most High just allowed us to open a school here in Ecuador.
Yo soy el soldado Disciplina, mi de izquierda.
El soldado Daniel.
Nosotros somos UIC Ecuador. Nuestra congregación está en la ciudad de Quito, Ecuador, mitad del mundo. Hoy nos encontramos en la ciudad de Esmeralda. Estamos esparciendo el mensaje y la verdad por todos los rincones. Le damos la gloria al Altísimo.
But listen, look, we have no foundations in these areas.
Altísimo Cristo los bendiga. Mi nombre es Acer Valiente Ben Israel y soy soldado de Israel Unido en Cristo, Perú. Es un honor servirle al Altísimo a través de IUIC con la guía y enseñanzas de liderazgo.
We need to get throughout Argentina and Chile.
Shalom familia, saludos desde Argentina, mi nombre es Guido, contento por este llamado, pero trabajando para ser electo y pidiéndole al Señor que pueda abrir las puertas en Argentina y Chile para que Neftali ocupe su lugar entre las 12 tribus.
No foundation in Spain as yet.
Shalom Israel, soy soldado Avilla, IUIC Spain. Tenemos mucho trabajo que hacer. Tuvimos 2 misiones completas en Madrid, Barcelona. Tuvimos varios programas de podcast en Madrid y Barcelona. Todo fue éxitos.
Understand, there's too much work to be done. Too much work to be done.
Shalom, más alto en Cristo bendiga. Mi nombre es el soldado Ería de Israel Unido en Cristo de la República Dominicana. Actualmente hacemos boletos semanalmente, hacemos boletos lo más frecuente posible.
Soy el oficial Iliad de IUC Puerto Rico, aquí para darle las gracias a los obispos y los líderes por considerarlos aquí en la isla, dando la oportunidad para regar la palabra de las buenas noticias de un lado de la isla al otro lado por medio de radio o sea por medio de campamento.
Okay, all right. All praise to the Most High. Turn me up just a little bit. Yeah, we solved our problem, by the way. So just turn my red up just a little bit. Yeah, we got it. Good. All praises. So this now too loud. Turn me down just a little bit. All right. So we got our problems straight, brothers and sisters. We got our problems straight. We figured it out. We good. We good. So at least I'm good on this end. So everybody's good at home. So let's keep it moving. Let's keep it moving. Give me the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7. But before we read into that, I just want to make a quick comment and a brief statement about what we just saw in the commercial. That was all praises to the Most High, that we are traveling and this word is going out in all these different languages. You know, it was a beautiful video.
Yes, sir.
And you know, we have brothers that want to fight over a corner. The Most High said, IUIC, you know what? Hit the warp speed button. Boom. Now we're all over the daggone planet. Okay.
Right.
You understand?
Yep.
And we still going to teach. We're going to teach wherever we go. We're going to bring this word out all over this planet. We're going to bring this truth out. So that was a beautiful thing that the Most High had the bishop to continue to put that spirit out there for the rest of us to gravitate towards and keep this truth going. So that was wonderful.
Right.
A beautiful execution of prophecy, of bringing this truth out. So let's get on into it. Proverbs 23 and verse 7.
The book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
For as he thinketh in his heart.
So if Christianity has gotten inside our minds, Christianity has made our minds no damn good. Read it again.
For as he thinketh in his heart.
For as Christianity made us think in our brain, like you just saw the brother, I wanted to get on that, but my thing was acting up with the dude running. He's sitting up there, he was in the chair patting. Like he couldn't even be still. This is a sorrowful, terrible thing because he just lost his brother. You understand?
Right.
And we lost a brother. It ain't just him lost a brother. We lost a member of our nation.
Right. It affects us all.
We all affected by that thing.
Right.
We all understand how it feels to lose somebody. You understand? But the Christianity jumped in and caused him to be wanting a doggone hug and all this kind of stuff because he thought he was going to get in trouble if he really spoke the way where the Spirit is telling him to speak. Why did my brother have to die sitting at home? What kind of policies are in this country that puts a mind state in a woman to come in and shoot me while I'm shoot my brother down while he's in his house eating ice cream, watching his own damn television?
Right.
What kind of society do you have that will make somebody so damn afraid that when they see me in my own damn apartment, blow me away?
Lord.
That's what I'm talking about. This whole society painted us as monsters,
right?
Where he's perceived as a threat in his own house, and then you talk about somebody, I want to hug somebody. I ain't hugging a damn thing.
Right. Man can't find safety and
can't
comfort
even exactly.
in his
Go ahead,
own
Captain.
household.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's the tyranny that we live under. Who's going to speak to that? You can't get no safer, quote unquote, than being in your own house.
Right.
That's when you can let your hair down.
Right.
You know you ain't got to have your game face on and all that.
Right.
You understand? You're supposed to be able to just relax, put your slippers on and all that. You're supposed to be able to really relax in your own home.
Right.
That's what he was doing, and he ended up dead.
Wow.
And he talking about something, can I forgive? He need to be mad at the whole damn system that shaped everybody's thinking to hate the black man the way the system hates us.
Exactly.
Your spirit knows that, but your spirit can't say nothing. And then Christianity stepped in and talking about some, let me give her a hug. That's crazy. Read that. You had something like him?
Yes, sir.
Come on.
The successfulness of the endeavor to push white supremacy was so, like I said, successful that we just watched a man whose brother was murdered. The person that murdered him received a hug from the brother.
Yes.
That's how successful white supremacy is.
That's the point right there. You said it beautifully. Man. That right there shows you the power of white Jesus. The power of white supremacy. It'll make the brother of the victim love murder.
Right.
Go ahead.
What you said also?
No, I was just going to say he feel bad for the Edomite.
Yes.
Right.
His brother dead.
Right.
Right. And she alive.
Right.
She alive.
Damn.
And when you go back and check the reports out, she was trying to fathom up a lie to get out of it.
Right.
Yeah. Yes. Wow. Another brother got killed because he damn near witnesses his behind died. Go back and watch the video because I'm forgetting the details now. But I went to New York a few years ago when this happened. And Officer Liam was on the set with me. It's called The Negro in Christianity. Go watch that video. Actually, we did 2 parts of it. I think I did 2. I think I did part 1 and part 2. I was on that subject for a while. And you get the details. We brought all that information out. Even Deacon Asaph called me and gave me information while I was teaching. Because information that just happened to witness was put to death while we were teaching.
Right.
The information came in.
Right. And they expect us to forget
about all that.
Forget this, but we're constantly reminded of it.
Exactly. I ain't even dealt with what happened in Florida, but we coming there. We're coming there. We are coming there. Read that.
Proverbs
yes,
chapter
sir.
23, verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart.
For as Christianity calls us to think in our minds, go ahead.
So is he.
We become white man Jesus. We become white man Christianity, have no self-respect, no family respect, no national respect, no nothing. Everything is about pleasing white people. That's what Christianity was given to us for, to make us love slavery. Okay? When I talk about, because I'm going to the Berlin Conference, I'm about to go into that now. When they set up the Berlin Conference, that was about Edomites coming together in a conference to discuss how they were going to exploit and take all of the wealth of the continent of Africa. I ain't ready for it yet. Almost though. Almost. So read that again.
Proverbs chapter 23, verse 7. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
Go ahead.
Eat and drink, saith he to thee, but his heart is not with thee.
The white man is not with us. He said, come join me in my Christianity. Say, it's good to bring all that out. Come join me in my Christianity, Negroes, black Americans.
Yeah.
Right. I mean fellow Christians. That's what, they go down the whole line until they find something that's going to, oh, I knew you felt good about us.
Yeah, right.
Read it again.
Eat and drink, saith he to thee.
Come into the church. Come. Go ahead.
But his heart is not with thee.
When are you black people going to learn that Christianity is not for you? It's not for you. But you've been made to think like it's a part of you. And what this verse is really saying is that he thinks in his mind to hate your guts. That's what it's really saying. But I'm bringing it to you. Read it again. Let me give the context of what it's talking about. Read it.
Eat and drink.
No, the whole verse.
Yes, sir. For as he thinketh in his heart, so is he.
The white man thinks of you as nothing, and he's going to treat you like nothing. But he's going to trick you read on. He's going to trick you.
Eat and drink.
Come. Even though I hate your guts, I hate your brothers, I hate your wives, I hate your daughters, I hate your sons, I hate you all. I can't stand you. I have a perpetual hatred against you, like it says in the book of Ezekiel. I have a perpetual hatred for you, but I can't tell you that. So I tell you, come to my church. Come eat and drink. Come. Read that. Eat and what?
Eat and drink, saith he to thee.
Saith he to the so-called Negro, his mushed up mind that is not in connection with what his real spirit is trying to tell him. Go ahead.
But his heart is not with thee.
The white man's mind, his Christianity is not for you simple dumb, boneheaded Negroes that's in that damn mess. This mess is not for you. His mind is not with you. And as long as you agree with slavery, as long as you agree with what we just saw on the screen, you're perfect in Jesus. Give me that in Thessalonians 1:6. 2 Thessalonians 1:6.
The book of 2 Thessalonians, chapter 1, verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with God to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you.
They ain't going to read that in church. You ain't going to get that in Christianity. That's in the New Testament. Right. What's happening here? Read that again.
Seeing it is a righteous thing with God.
It is a righteous thing in the blood of Jesus. Go ahead.
To recompense tribulation.
To recompense payback.
To them.
To them. Go ahead.
That trouble you.
Give me Luke 171.
Oh, praise.
Luke 171. You people talking about Christianity. You drunk. Your spirit is saying you are crazy as hell. But your mind saying, no, I'm not going to listen to them scriptures. We're reading this and they're going to say, we're taking this out of context.
Yeah. Bishop,
they read, what you got?
Bishop, this is hate.
Right.
What you're reading right now, that's hate.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
Read that. Yeah, they call that hate. You're right. Read.
The book of Luke, chapter 1, verse 71. That we should be saved from our enemies and from the hand of all that hate us.
That's what the spirit is yearning for. But your Christian mind says ignore that. Because Christianity has blocked your connection to your spirit and it caused you to love slavery. And that's the purpose of why Christianity was given to us. And do not believe that Jude 3 mess that they got going on, talking about that's to put you so-called Negroes to sleep. Because this Bible the Israelites is tearing their butts up. I know that's what it is. Right. So they got to come up with trying to find all kind of ways to get the slaves back on the plantation. That's what the whole thing is about. The Israelites is tearing their butts up. Now they're coming out with a Jude 3 conference against the Israelites, all kind of stuff because they're trying to stop the Bible. They're trying to stop your spirit from using the Bible to fix your brain. That's what they're trying to do. They want your brain to stay stupid. Wow. That's the point. That's the point right there. So now we're getting ready to get into my other stuff. Did I finish everything? I finished that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So like I said, as a man thinketh in his mind, he brings that into his routine reality. Let me say that again. In Proverbs 23:7, it says, as he thinketh in his heart. Meaning the way we think, the way we were programmed to think, we end up becoming what we think. And because of that, we begin to bring out, our minds begins to bring into reality what our mind think. If our mind thinks we're a slave, we will act like a slave. Well, we just saw him running, talking about hugging, such and such. That was slavery that made him do that. That was his basically his spiritual whipping in his conscience, sitting up there cutting up. Meanwhile, his brother dead because he feels the power of white supremacy while he's sitting up on there. It didn't matter if the judge was black, the black woman. Hell, she gonna give her damn Bible.
Exactly. I remember that.
Gave her quote unquote precious Bible.
Right.
A damn near family heirloom.
The medicine that she needs.
The medicine that she needs, she give it to the white woman. Wow.
The heavy thing about that, Bishop, is when you look at the video, it's like a pause in between her telling him So she up there, she thinking if I don't tell him I'ma look bad.
Exactly.
So she feel the pressure.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
That's crazy.
So it just shows you how bad these white supremacy Christianity teachings are. They're very dangerous. Okay. So I make that point. It says, as a man thinketh in his heart, meaning his mind, he brings that thought that's in his mind into his regular routine, and that becomes his reality. That's what we are trained to do. And the reality is the hog pen that Christianity has made for us to exist in and to be that and be comfortable in it and don't want anything else. Meanwhile, your spirit is saying, man, we're supposed to be doing something better than this here. And you have to tell your spirit to shut up because your spirit is going to get your mind in trouble with white supremacy. And you rather shut your mind down. You rather shut your spirit down so you can be in agreement with white supremacy. That's what's going on. So now, where did all this begin? That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to talk about. Like I said, hope deferred makes us crazy because of the conflict and the mental block, the interceptor, which is wedged between our mind and spirit. That's what Christianity is. Christianity basically is a wedge that wedges your real spirit from what you should do. Your spirit in the car, you're trying to drive the car, but Christianity breaks the connection so you can never fix the engine to drive where you need to go. That's basically what Christianity has done. And the mind says, I ain't even listening to what the Spirit's trying to tell me. I'm going to follow Satan to the depths. That's basically what we're talking about. Christianity causes us to ignore the reality of the society and its roots. Christianity won't even let us deal with history. Christianity won't even let us bring up won't even let our minds entertain real facts.
Right.
Tell you, forget about that. Don't talk about that. Forgive and hug. Meanwhile, when the planes hit 9/11, you heard these people say, "Never forget."
Right.
Never forget. When the Japanese dropped bombs on Pearl Harbor, they didn't say praise. They didn't say let bygones be bygones, like Malcolm X said.
Yeah.
They said praise the Lord, but pass the ammunition. They ain't forgetting nothing.
No.
Okay.
Right.
But when it comes to the Negro, he can't do anything. There's a reason for this kind of thinking, and it's called Christianity. Yep. And Christianity was given to us from history all the way up to now. And we're getting ready to talk about some of that right now. Let's get into it. I'm going to touch on a few videos that you all should watch in its entirety, because I'm only going to play just small clips of it. But understanding this and seeing that Christianity was back then a doctrine to tranquilize the natives into accepting slavery. That's what Christianity was literally given for. It was to tranquilize the natives into accepting Christianity. Okay? That's exactly what today's Christianity is still doing. It is basically the manufacturing lab to cause us to do this exact same thing today. And that's the reason why I referenced the cloning Tyrone, because that's what that's Christianity. Christianity is basically underneath the church. That's the reason why I talked about that in that film. When I went over the cloning of Tyrone, thing, because the church. That's why I wanted to start there. They try to be slick and give you some trap house. And no. The biggest cancer is that damn church right there, drinking that Christianity juice, which is the poison their mind and their spirits was lost. Yep. Yeah. That's the point.
Drunk with that wine.
Drunk with that damn wine.
Yep.
And what do they call it? The Mount Zion Church, letting you know that they make a mockery of the Israelites.
Yep.
And it was the center of the entire.
It was the center of the entire operation.
Yep.
Exactly. Yep. Which letting you know that that's the nucleus of where it all happens.
Damn headquarters.
When we go back to that film, we're gonna break all that down. We ain't done yet. We're gonna deal with the subject here. Give me the Berlin Conference. Okay, give me the Berlin Conference. Let me see what we got. Go to my stuff. The Berlin Conference. Listen to me. Go up. I want to show. Okay, let's show this here. Eliakim, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I should have had you in a different area where you can really see.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885, meeting at which the major European powers negotiated and formalized.
Can somebody tilt the thing so he can read a little better, please? Because you're supposed to be on this side, but it don't matter.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
Berlin Conference, meeting at which the major European powers negotiated and formalized claims to territory in Africa, also called the Berlin West Africa Conference.
Go ahead.
The Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885 marked the climax of the European competition for territory in Africa.
So they was about taking their resources. That's what this meeting was about. Go ahead.
A process commonly known as the scramble for Africa.
The scramble for Africa's resources, like rubber and bauxite and all that. Go ahead.
During the 1870s and early 1880s, European nations such as Great Britain, France, and Germany began looking to Africa for natural resources.
I want to put something. I don't know if I sent this to y'all. Check this out. Zoom, put this up there. This is what it was all about. I'm sending y'all this here. Just give me a second. Just bear with us.
Read that again, Officer Lockett.
Yeah.
During the
1870s and early 1880s, European nations such as Great Britain, France, and Germany began looking to Africa for natural resources.
Now, show the picture. The picture that I just sent you. This is the resources. Show that right there. Pull it back out so they can see the top of it. Show that. Map of Africa's vast resources. Look at this is what the Berlin Conference was about confiscating. Zoom in on that and look at what they did. So you got all of these people, you got the natives of all of these people, all of those countries, all the cocoa, tea, grains, diamonds, gold, copper, crude oil, petroleum, cotton, iron, petroleum,
uranium.
Crude. You look at all of that, and there's plenty more. So the point is, all of these places have people on them. How are they going to get the people to agree to allow America to allow Esau, the Berlin Conference constituents that was there? How are they going to extract their mineral resources and keep the people happy? Give them Christianity. And that's the reason why these churches, that's the reason why they get billions of dollars, because they are a part of this. When they go and do their missionary work and all that, they're making sure that these companies can get to do what you see here, to extract these resources. So don't look at the preacher that's in these churches like he's stupid. He's a part of this. The churches are a part of this here. They're set up to make sure that the world governments can continue to rob and exploit and dominate the dark nation's resources. And they're going in and they pump that Christianity. You go to Africa, Sierra Leone and Uganda and all that, they got white Jesus everywhere.
Right. So
Christianity. What the hell is Christianity doing over there?
So that's all the missionary.
That's what all that mess is about.
Yeah.
To make sure that they can continue to dupe the people to take their resources, coffee and all of that.
Bring them white Jesus.
Bringing in white Jesus. That's what it's all about. Go back to the writing.
It's crazy.
Read on.
During the 1870s and early 1880s, European nations such as Great Britain, France, and Germany began looking to Africa for natural resources for their growing industrial sectors.
The Industrial Revolution was a result of us being in slavery. It made them so much money. That's what it did. There's another article. Hold that. We come out of this. Because there's so much information. That's why I say I'll be on this thing all day. There's so much that I wanted to bring out. Go to another article, and we'll come back to this. I put another article up there about, y'all had it up there in the beginning. Close out. Let me see. It's about, right there, VOX. How slavery became America's first big business. Read that.
Yes, sir. How slavery became America's first big business. Historian and author Edward E. Baptist explains how slavery helped the U.S. go from a colonial economy to the second biggest industrial power in the world.
Hold on. That first paragraph is bad on itself. Yeah. It said that this man, Edward Baptist, explains how slavery helped the U.S. and all of the countries. It ain't just talking about the U.S. because it said a world economy. That's what it's talking about.
Right.
It explains how slavery helped the U.S. go from a colonial economy, little colonies. Slavery was so prosperous that the economy went well beyond a little colony. It went global. That's what they're saying. Colonial economy to the second biggest industrial power in the world. That's talking about the United States. Read on.
Of the many myths told about American slavery, one of the biggest is that it was...
Here you got a governor. What that governor said?
DeSantis?
Yeah, what did he say? He said that we actually learned, like it was a benefit to us.
It's beneficial.
Yeah. Satan himself.
Right.
Go ahead. I ain't done with him yet. Read on.
One of the many myths told about American slavery... I'm sorry. Read that again.
Biggest.
Of the many myths told about American slavery.
That's what I wanted to deal with. The myths. Because you black people have been taught that this thing really wasn't about doing what they did to us.
Right.
Read it again. One of the many myths.
Of the many myths told about American slavery, one of the biggest is that it was an archaic practice that only enriched a small number of men.
So you know how they try to do in the history book, it's them old white Southerners, such and such, and they try to make it seem like, well, the North, we wasn't really about that. That's the bull crap that they put in school. But the slavery benefited all these damn devils.
Right.
It wasn't just them. That's what you had slavery in the North everywhere.
Right.
They're trying to relegate it to only the little so-called backwards crackers on the, that's how they call them, backwards Edomites on the porch chewing tobacco.
Right.
Hell no. It meant all of them.
Right.
They ain't crackers. They are the Edomites that the Bible speaks of.
Right.
Go ahead. That's too nice to call them crackers. That's not who they are. Right. They are Edomite. They're Esau. But read.
The argument has often been used to diminish the scale of slavery.
The argument is used to diminish the scale, how widespread slavery was. Go ahead. I'm going to be quiet. Let me let you read it because I'm keep cutting it off. Read it.
Yeah, do your thing, bitch. Reducing it to a crime committed by a few Southern planters.
That was my point earlier. Read on.
One that did not touch the rest of the United States.
Which was a damn lie. It touched the whole damn planet. Go ahead.
Slavery, the argument goes.
This is what they say about slavery. Go ahead.
Was an inefficient system.
They're trying to say, it was an inefficient system because we got to feed them and we got to take care of them and all. That's what they were really saying. They said, so we'll do better if we took them out of slavery. But I was trying to find an article. America is more prosperous now out of slavery than when we were under chattel slavery. And this article goes into that. Read on.
The argument goes, was an inefficient system, and the labor of the enslaved was considered less productive than that of a free worker being paid a wage.
Being paid a wage. So they're saying that it cost them more. Read that again. Read it again. I've got to get my thought back.
Slavery, the argument goes, was an inefficient system.
They're trying to say it was inefficient. Go ahead.
And the labor of the enslaved was considered less productive than that of a free worker being paid a wage.
And the reason why is because the slave master had to house them, feed them, take care of them health-wise and all that. So they did have that kind of argument. But what ended up happening, like they showed you in that documentary called The End of Poverty, they basically say that the slave master, he doesn't have to even deal with your housing anymore because you normally have to pay for that. Have to pay for your housing, have to pay for your food, this and that and the other. He ain't got to deal with none of that at all. He basically brings you to the job with a truck with a whole lot of you on it. Y'all work your fingers to the bone, and y'all pay your own rent. You pay your own health insurance. You pay your own. So they getting paid big time plus the slavery with a slave wage, which you basically ain't making nothing. So how in the hell you going to say that they ain't making money hand over fist now? That's why that article said what it said. Go ahead.
So, Bishop, they give you the money, they give you the wages, and then
Yes.
you give them right the hell back.
Exactly, because they raise up the price on everything, and you're making pennies a day.
Damn, slavery.
The housing costs you more than it costs him.
Exactly. That's the point.
Wow.
That's the point.
Right.
That's exactly what it is. But Christianity don't let you see stuff like this.
Exactly.
Your spirit knows that your spirit is watching this right now. They say, you know what, them brothers is telling the truth. But the Christianity intercepts the brain and says, don't listen to that.
Well, you making minimum wage.
Yeah.
Right. That's what the mind.
They call it minimum too.
Yeah, it's minimum.
Minimum for denizens.
And you miss it. Right.
Minimum wage for denizens.
Can I get a scripture?
Yeah,
Bishop?
go ahead, man.
Let me have Micah 2:1, officer.
That's crazy, man. This is a reality. People really need to wake up. I'm telling you.
Verse 1 and 2.
Yes, sir.
Bishop bringing out some heavy stuff.
Yes, sir.
Man, I'm still tripping off the video. The
I
brother
am
on the
Yeah.
Like I said,
sitting there crying.
Yeah. Go back. I'm telling this to everybody.
Yeah.
Go back and watch the video that we did called "The Negro in Christianity." I go through the whole. Me and the brothers was on this. We did it. We went through this part 1 and 2. Watch it all. We went deep. Okay. I wish I had the link. I'll put the link in the thing here. But go ahead. What you were saying? Go ahead, officer.
Micah chapter 2, verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
This is Esau. When it says he worked evil upon his bed, that means 24/7. When he lay down to go to sleep and when he wake up. Read it again.
Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds.
Read.
When the morning is light, they practice it.
And when they get up, they practicize it. They put their plans into motion. They do things like what is it called? What was it called, Bishop? The Berlin Conference. The Berlin Conference.
Right.
Things like this. Read on.
Because it is in the power of their hand.
Right.
I'm sorry,
the scramble for Africa's resources. That's what it's dubbed. They got a dub name for it.
Right.
Go ahead. You were saying
code name.
A code name. Read that. I didn't mean to break what you were bringing out.
No, you fine, Bishop. It says it is in their. It says it is in the power
of their hands to do it right.
Right. Because the earth is given into the hand of the wicked.
You go right there.
So Esau is walking in his role. He doing what he's supposed to.
Right.
But like Bishop's saying, we see all these things right in our face, and we just turn the blind eye to it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Read on, officer.
And they covet fields.
And they what?
They covet fields.
And they covet fields, meaning they not only conquer the whole world, the place where you would think, where we live at, Africa,
right.
The majority of people black,
Yeah.
you would think we have some kind of say-so in what going on, but we don't. Say they cover fields. Esau take every damn thing.
You take it all.
Just a sidebar. I remember coming up in school, Bishop, where you would hear white kids going over to Africa for church trips and stuff like that.
And you didn't pick it up.
More white people done been to Africa than we have.
There you go.
Right. Bring it
Exactly.
up. Right.
Exactly.
Bring it up.
That's something. That's heavy. Because their mamas and fathers would say, you here to rule these niggas. That's basically what they were learning. Just like that white boy that did that shooting down there in Jacksonville.
Yeah.
He was taught that.
Right.
Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah, from all educational mediums in society, whether it's music, TV, movies, education, everything teaches him that black people ain't shit.
Right.
Including, especially religion, especially church.
Right.
Especially church.
Right.
Jesus Christ is described in the Bible as a black man, and no nigga in the damn church can say, I got to call him what it is. And they think none of them can say Jesus Christ is a black man. They can't even say it.
Right. What color?
In an all-black church, they cannot say it.
Scary.
Because they figured out one of them Negroes might leave here and go tell the white man.
Right. Right. What was you going to say, Officer
Go ahead,
Zari?
man.
Color doesn't matter.
You're right. No, Bishop on fire.
That's what they say. Color doesn't matter.
Right.
You're right.
Read the rest of that, officer. Then I'm turning it over.
And they covet fields and take them by violence.
And they take them by violence. Christianity, physical violence.
Right.
Read.
And houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage.
So that's the point I'm making.
That's
Esau oppressed a man, his heritage, the fields, the resources.
That's what he did. That's what we read. Hey, this article is heavy. We got to read some more in there. Read some more in there. That was it, officer?
Yes, sir. That's all, Bishop.
Read on. There's more. Come on.
The use of enslaved labor has been presented as pre-modern, a practice that had no ties to the capitalism that allowed America to become and remain a leading global economy.
So they say that capitalism has nothing to do with chattel slavery. That's the madness that they're trying to make you think in school. Read.
But as with so many stories about slavery...
Hold it. But as with so many stories about slavery, what?
This is untrue.
This is untrue. Go ahead.
Slavery, particularly the cotton slavery that existed from the end of the 18th century to the beginning of the Civil War, was a thoroughly modern business.
Go ahead.
One that was continuously changing to maximize profits.
That's where you got your Chase banks and all of these banks.
Right.
It all comes from this here. So what in the world are they talking about? Only a few Southerners? No. All of them got paid for this. Read on. There's more.
To grow the cotton that would clothe the world and fuel global industrialization, thousands of young enslaved men and women, the children of stolen ancestors legally treated as property, were transported from Maryland and Virginia hundreds of miles south and forcibly retrained to become America's most efficient laborers.
Oh, man, this ain't heavy.
Go ahead.
As they were pushed into the expanding territories of Mississippi and Louisiana,
Go ahead.
sold and bid on at auctions, and resettled onto forced labor camps, they were given a task to plant and pick thousands of pounds of cotton.
Thousands of pounds of cotton. Cotton don't weigh anything. Could you imagine what it's like to reach 1,000 pounds of something that barely weighs an ounce? That's how much cotton we picked, and the world economy got built off of that. That's just talking about Southern Kingdom. There's more. Well, we're done with this one. We can come out of that because, like I said, the global pillaging of what happened in the Berlin Conference just pretty much dealt with Southern Kingdom. But go ahead, hold it now. Let's come out of this. Give me the canary. So I'm gonna name some videos. Then I'm gonna go through them. We're gonna play the trailers to these videos. That's what we're gonna do now. I'm gonna name some videos that you'll all need to take advantage of and listen and study and pull up these facts so you can come out of that Christianity madness. Like I said, study the information about the Berlin Conference. That's what we just gave you a little bit of that. Also, the Canary Effect. There's another documentary called The End of Poverty. There's another documentary called the 13th Amendment documentary. Many of y'all have seen that. There's another documentary called The Panama Deception. All of these lend into what we just read in that paragraph. Even though we were talking about the Berlin Conference, all of those documentaries have ties to what happened during the Berlin Conference. And the different videos that I just brought out deals with Southern Kingdom and Northern Kingdom. All 12 tribes fall up underneath the dictates of what happened during that Berlin Conference. All of them. Now, give me the videos now. Go to the link. Now, we're getting ready to play a little excerpt from each of these videos so that y'all can see what I'm talking about. But all of y'all need to mark these videos down and watch them in its entirety. Okay? And I'm going to tell you something. What got me on this binge? Bishop Kanai. That's right. Bishop Kanai sent a video early yesterday morning, and I watched it. Something's shaking. And I watched it. And I couldn't stop talking about it. I just started going in on it because it was excellent. I watched it and I'm like, man, this thing goes into so many other parts of our global destruction all over this earth. So that's when I came up with the rest of this lesson here. Okay, so let's play what we got here. We're going to look at a small excerpt from each of these documentaries. The Berlin Conference, hit it. The Berlin Conference, brothers. Stop. Y'all not on it. Listen to me. Go out. This is not it. I ain't want this yet. I want the Berlin Conference. That's the one right there. Play that one. Then we gonna go down the line. Play that. We're just gonna play little bits of these. Hit it. Let them see the difference between French and British colonialism in Africa. Go ahead.
The current political order in most African countries is usually attributed to the legacies of colonialism. Britain, France, Germany, Portugal, Spain, and Italy were the major European powers that were involved in the complete colonization of Africa. However,
look at it, Cameroon, the Belgian, Congo,
right?
All of these areas, Nigeria, what they call Nigeria,
right?
Go ahead.
Nations that held the most colonies in Africa were France and Britain. The difference between French and British colonialism in Africa is the focus of this video.
So they wanted. You can stop there. You can stop there because, like I said, there's a lot. This is a long documentary. But my point is that they're showing you of what their objective was to go inside, have a whole group of Edomites sitting down at a table discussing how to cut up Africa, take its resources. The French take this one, Belgium take this one, Leopold and all that. They're all taking different parts of the resources. And then at the same time, they're bringing Christianity in. All of these documentaries mention Christianity as a poison. They didn't say it as a poison, but it was brought in to subjugate them, to make them accept them being colonized. Okay? Go ahead. Give me the next video. This was the yes, play that one. We're gonna play these in its entirety. These are just the trailers. Listen.
"500 years ago, there were people on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, but neither knew about the other. On the western side, our side, the people had reddish-brown skins and lived in huts or..."
This is the Canary effect. This was about what happened to the Native American Indians, the Native Americans, how they were pillaged and destroyed to enslave them on their own land. That's what this documentary is about. I suggest you watch that one. Go ahead.
Or wigwams.
Genocide shall be understood as any policy undertaken with intent to destroy in whole or in part a national, ethnical,
Is the screen
racial,
frozen?
or religious
Stop. Is the screen frozen?
It looked like it didn't it?
Play it again. Come on, man. I need this thing to be done right. I don't know what's going on. Come on. I don't want to
racial or religious group. Genocide shall be understood as
okay.
Must be that video. What's that?
Find it on YouTube. Get out of this. Find it on YouTube then. Find it on YouTube. Canary effect. Go ahead. You were going to say something.
In Bishop, they have maps where you can look up where they performed the scramble of Africa that, you look at Namibia, Zambia, Kenya, you see these names, you think black, African, black, okay, black. But in reality, because of what was done by these European countries in Esau, they've actually, and then you can just look up the map, have Africa cut and dissected up with them meta geopolitical lines that separate which portion belongs to France, which portion belongs to
Look
Europe,
for the trailer, brothers.
which portion belongs to Germany. And those are the people who actually have the control. You wonder why there's not the unity and so forth. It's because the people over their leaders actually did this hundreds of years ago and are still doing it, and doing it to South America, like we're going into this, I believe, this documentary.
All right, let's hit it.
Okay.
This is the one. Back it up. Let's get it all. All right, go ahead, play.
Millions of acres of land for
Is that the beginning of it?
preservation.
Because I want all these words to come out. Just back it up. Get it all. Come on, y'all. Come on. I'm getting frustrated. This is the company that made it.
Let me tell you just a little something about the American Indian in our land. We have provided millions of acres of land for what are called the preservations, or the reservations, I should say.
500 years ago, there were people on both sides of the Atlantic Ocean, but neither knew about the other. On the western side, our side, the people had reddish-brown skins and lived in huts or wigwams.
Genocide shall be understood as any policy undertaken with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group.
At various times in this country's history, there have been policies that would equate to genocide because they say kill them all.
Kill the Indian, save the man in every single pupil.
To me, the suicide epidemic happening in Indian country is just a manifestation of all this history. The problems surrounding alcohol.
Hold on. You heard what the woman said, that there's a suicide rate because hope deferred maketh the heart sick. That's the point. Go ahead, play on.
To me, the suicide epidemic happening in Indian country is just a manifestation of all this history. The problems surrounding alcohol, gangs, health are truly beyond what we understand. I brought to Congress bottles of water from Indian reservations. This is what people are expected to drink.
1 little, 2 little, 3 little Indians, 4 little, 5 little, 6 little Indians, 7 little, 8 little, 9 little Indians, 10 little Indian boys.
Indian country paid their dues a long time ago. They gave their sons and daughters, shed their blood for our nation. They gave their lands, and it's about time the United States government met its obligations.
All right, give me my next video. I'm just showing you all this here because what was happening there, they were pillaged. Our brothers, the Native American Indian brothers over here, were pillaged by Esau. Okay, give me the next video is End of Poverty. End of Poverty. I only want the trailers. Y'all should go and check these, but I want y'all to notice that there's a commonality between all of them. That's the reason why I'm playing them.
Yeah,
go ahead.
You can see it. You definitely see it.
I don't think this is the one I sent y'all. But anyway. All right, that's fine. That's it. Pay attention. Poverty. This is not an accident.
In a world where there is so much wealth, with modern cities and plentiful resources, how can we still have so much poverty?
Because of the Berlin because of the Berlin Conference ideology is not only happening in the African countries, but it's happening all over. All those people over there. Going to Africa, horrid conditions in terms no sewer. It's some areas you can't believe how deprived it is. And they're sitting on top of bauxite, sitting on top of gold and diamonds, literally. But yet they don't have anything. Man, these documentaries are heavy when you check them out.
You ain't lying.
Because the people that have the resources, they can't even process them. They gotta export their resources out for American companies to refine it and then sell it back to them at a price that they can't even afford. And when they can't afford it, then they say, "Well, you owe us money."
Right.
And then they say, well, you got to pay your bills. So foreign policy comes into play, and the foreign policy says, well, you want an airport, you want this, you want that. Here's the terms of what you're going to do, and if you can't pay it, you got to give us this, you got to give us that. You got to, in the United Nations vote, you got to vote for our interests. This is what's going on in foreign policy with all of these countries.
Double jeopardy.
Jeopardy.
Job 9:24.
But it starts with the robbing of their resources, and Christianity allows for the people to be robbed, all in the name of the blood of Jesus, white Jesus. They give them that Christianity garbage, and they go to sleep and allow who they think is Jesus to take their resources from them. Play on.
In which there is growing wealth, there are actually more poor people than there were before.
Many people will have to suffer. Many people will have to be forced into homelessness, landlessness. Some will have to die because we are following a particular economic model.
Somebody put in the comments that's mafia style. You down? Pause it.
Yeah.
I'm glad he said that. Man, you know how long I've been wanting to do a class on that statement? America and New York City and the American system is the biggest gangster organization that ever existed.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, way back in the old school, one of the elders went over there, and I was blown away because he went into it. I ain't never heard nobody explain it like that, and I'm going to talk about it one of these days. He went and broke down how the society, they all look out to make sure that people do not get inside the gangsters' business. All of the different aspects of this society is all geared to protect the bankers' interests. Your educational system, your justice system, your music, your arts and entertainment, all of those things. The police department, basically, all of them work in the military. All of them work in conjunction to make sure that the religious systems all work in conjunction to make sure that the businesses keep on gangstering. And the job of the law enforcement scenarios is to keep the gangsters' business in check and keep the people that they robbed out of the gangsters' business. In case they wake up. So go ahead. I don't want to say what might happen to me if I'm on the. Go ahead. I better be careful when I talk.
Sub-Saharan Africa is paying $25,000 every minute to northern creditors.
Did you hear that? Back that statement up. Just that little piece there. Play it again.
Sub-Saharan Africa is paying $25,000 every minute to northern creditors. I think people don't understand.
$25,000 a minute. Negro can't even count that damn high.
Right. What the world?
25. You didn't even know math goes that far, did you?
No.
You didn't know. You didn't know the math go like that. $25,000 a minute.
What did they do?
That's how much they owe. So if they can't pay it, that's where the jackals come in.
That's the oppression.
That's where they come in. They say, you owe us money. Look at your debts. It's astronomical. God. You got to give us this. You got to give us that. Go ahead. Play on.
That it is actually the South that is financing the North.
Tenho 6 filhos, e o que eu ganho aqui, se eu for comer tudo aqui, eu vou para casa sem nada.
Toute une série de politiques qui sont appliquées dans les pays du Sud endettés sont dictées à partir de Washington.
Now, what was particularly flawed about a lot of these theories was they did not lead to economic growth, and yet they pursued it. And my interpretation is because Wall Street wanted it.
Okay, I can say life in Islam is very hard. Okay, sometimes we do go without even eating supper now.
Mientras haya gente que no tenga agua para beber, su suerte, su estabilidad es frágil.
Less than 5% of the world's population live in the United States. We are consuming over 25% of the world's resources.
D'ores et déjà, on dépasse.
Pause it. I want y'all to hear that point there. He said less than 5% of the world's population exists in the United States. Keep that thought in mind. Play on.
On dépasse d'environ 30% la capacité de régénération de la biosphère.
This system is an absolute failure.
All right, give me my next video. The 13. Give me my next video. The next video. The 13th Amendment. So we went from Africa, now we went to Northern Kingdom, which is the end of poverty. We also talked about Northern Kingdom with GAD, with the Canary Effect. All the same program from the Berlin Conference all the way is going through all the tenets of the Berlin Conference is happening in every video that I'm playing, including this one that I'm about to show you. Hit it. I need that sound. Come on.
1 out of 4 human beings with their hands on bars, shackled, in the world are locked up here in the land of the free.
Khalif Browder was walking home from a party when he was stopped by police.
Then they said, we're going to take you to the precinct, and most likely we're going to let you go home. And then I never went home.
13th Amendment to the Constitution makes it unconstitutional for someone to be held as a slave. There are exceptions, including criminals.
The loophole was immediately exploited. What you got after that was a rapid transition to a mythology of black criminality.
Some people got the real problem. Animals, beasts that needed to be controlled. You better believe it. I'm only human.
It became virtually impossible for a politician to run and appear soft on crime.
The kinds of kids that are called super predators.
Millions of dollars will be allocated for prison and jail facilities.
3 strikes and you are out. It was an enormous burden on the black community, but it also violated a sense of core fairness.
The states were required to keep these prisons filled, even if nobody was committing a crime.
Pause it. You heard that? States were required to keep because it was an investment. Go ahead. Play on.
It's so difficult to talk about mass incarceration because it has become heavily monetized.
The focus is on taking people from prison, putting them in community corrections, parole and probation.
How much progress is it really if now there's a private company making money off the GPS monitor?
We now have more African Americans under criminal supervision than all the slaves back in the 1850s.
Did y'all hear that?
We are
There's more people in prison than we had in slavery. So when the 13th Amendment said y'all could keep your slaves, we're just going to call it under another name. We're going to give you more slaves.
But before you play on, let them see that picture right there. Still the same thing going on the very day.
Right.
Look at that.
That's convict leasing. Damn. That's a chain gang. Play on. There's a part that I wanted to get to. I don't know if it's in this video, but go ahead, play it.
Products of the history that our ancestors chose. Products of that set of choices that we have to understand in order to escape from it.
You should go looking somewhere I'm only human after all.
Find the actual video. Because I didn't think this was this is fine. Find the actual, because it's in the first couple of seconds in the actual documentary. Find the actual documentary. On YouTube, brothers, on YouTube. Go the second one down, hit it. Play that one. Listen. Go through all that. Come on. I want you to hear as soon as it comes on.
It's not playing.
Didn't somebody else could have? Okay. Listen.
So let's look at the statistics.
Right here.
The United States is home to 5% of the world's population, but 25% of the world's prisoners.
Stop. That's all I needed. That's it. I don't need no more of the video. You remember we saw on the other one that said 5%. Mm-hmm. 5% of the world's population exists in the United States. This confirmed it. But yet, America has 25% of all the world's prisoners. The world's prisoners. Mm-hmm. 1 out of every 4 prisoners on the planet Earth is in the American system. That's our people. Slavery, by another name. Berlin Conference. Here's the connection. Mm-hmm. What are our resources? Music, dance, we got all kinds of talents, inventions. Black inventors of America, they took all of that from us, all the greatness, our slave labor, our working on these jobs. These guys get paid billions and billions. When we go to our regular jobs, making our little $15, $25, whatever we make an hour, these guys are making billions. And out of that money that they pay us, we got to pay rent, got to pay mortgage, we got to pay for, and we don't truly own nothing.
Nope. Right.
Miss a tax note on your house and see what happened.
Right. Right.
So we still ain't free.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is the Berlin Conference all the way from the top to the bottom. Give me one more video, and then we're going to close out for the night. So that's it. Give me, to show you even more, the Panama Deception. The Panama Deception. The trailer. So I'm naming you. The Berlin Conference, research that, brothers and sisters. The Canary Effect, that documentary, check that out. The End of Poverty, you should just binge and watch all of them. The End of Poverty, the 13th Amendment documentary like we just got through looking at, and also the Panama Deception. Go ahead, play it. The trailer.
One year ago, the people of Panama lived in fear under the thumb of a dictator. Today, democracy is restored. Panama is free.
Lies.
And to say we invaded Panama because Noriega, I don't know how Americans can be so stupid to believe this. I mean, how can you be so stupid?
The performance of the mainstream news media in the coverage of Panama has been just about total collaboration with the administration. Not a critical perspective, not a second thought.
Our regret is that we were not able to use the media pool more effectively.
You would think from the video clips that we had seen that this whole thing was just a Mardi Gras. That the people in Panama were just jumping up and down with glee.
That's what America was fed. Keep playing.
Focused on Noriega to the exclusion of what was happening to the Panamanian people, to the exclusion of the bodies in the street, to the exclusion of the number dead.
The truth of the matter is that we don't even know how many Panamanians we have killed.
Panama is another example of destroying a country to save it. The United States has exercised a might makes right doctrine.
Might makes right. Keep playing. Keep playing.
Countries of the third world to invade these countries, get what we want, and leave the people that live there to kind of rot.
The invasion sets the stage for the wars of the 21st century.
If you look at any document in international law, any of numerous treaties, it's clear that this invasion was illegal. It's not debatable.
The goals of the United States have been to safeguard the lives of Americans, to defend democracy in Panama.
How in the world do you restore that which has never existed? Panama has never been a democracy since we created Panama for our own purposes in 1903.
Pause it, because we're getting past our time. We're going to continue with this, but I just wanted to make these points. The whole point about the Panama Canal, America and none of these Edomite countries would be in any of these countries, would be in any of these lands if there was not resources there. What was the resources that was in Panama? The Panama Canal. Right. The treaty, there was a treaty that was signed that said that in the year 2000, the Panama Canal was to be turned back over to the Panamanian people, provided that they had a military to protect it. America went and found a reason, created a bad man, Noriega, to go in and attack him and say he's the bad man, and said that he was over the PDF, which was the Panamanian Defense Force. They said that all of them are wicked. We got to destroy them all. So when they destroyed him, they destroyed the PDF. So they said now they don't have a military. So now they retook over the treaties, and now they kept the canal. So because they wanted to keep the canal for their own point. That's the reason why that war went down.
Wow.
Check that documentary out. You'll find out that when you talk about the white man and his criminality, he's a super criminal. He's a serious guy. The Most High is going to have to take his ass out. That's the point. Definitely. The only thing that we need to do, we need to obey the commandments and gather ourselves together, because the Most High is going to come back and send his angels, and we are the ones that's going to be protected by him, like we read in Luke. There ain't no other way you're going to do it. This man, the Most High gave him all his power. People don't really understand the reason why he's going the way he's going. I wanted to go further because I wanted to show you where this man got his evil from. And the reason why people down there in Jackson, because I didn't even get to touch that. In Jackson, that man went in there and shot them people up, and the police down there trying to figure out where all this hatred come from. It's a perpetual hatred. That's number one. Number two, in Genesis, it says that he will be blessed with the sword. When he sees that his resources, he sees his slaves getting out. They said the Negroes is getting too damn uppity, and white folks are getting mad. And there's an underground connection. I got to say this before I go. Play the thing. We have to do it. I know brothers are on another channel. We're on our own channel. So I'm going to take a few minutes just to deal with that. Come out of this. Let's go to our video about the shooting. Because we got to touch that, right?
Yes, sir.
Could we put that up there real quick? Hold it. Let me tell you the one to get. Hold up.
It should be probably one.
Give me the one with the go to the Telegram, brothers. Go to the Telegram. I want to see what you're putting up there. Go to the Telegram. That one there. That's the one I want. Click that. Was that the beginning of it? You went to the 8-minute mark, right? Yes, sir. That ain't the one I want. I want the video before that. No, brothers. Y'all must have did something. The 8 minutes is after that one.
Go down.
One of them had the 8 minutes, and the other one don't. The other one starts from the beginning. That's the one I want. I didn't put the 8 minutes on that one. Give me that one from the beginning. Play it.
More about a racially motivated attack in Jacksonville, Florida. The sheriff says the man who shot and killed 3 people at a Dollar General on Saturday targeted another store first, but left when a security guard showed up. He then walked into the Dollar General wearing tactical gear and opened fire. 3 people were killed before the suspect took his own life. The sheriff says the gunman left a manifesto describing hatred of black people. The suspect's father told police that the son had recently stopped taking his psychotropic medications.
Stop. They're already justified. There to go right there. Said that he stopped taking his meds like he's crazy because of the medication. There's a perpetual demon inside these people. That's what you black folks don't understand. Hosea 5:15 is trying to wake us up. That's the point. Because the Most High, you're going to see these things happen sporadically. And what people don't realize, is even though they're trying to get ahead of it by making the connection between this and the situation that happened in Buffalo, but yes, there is an underground network where these people actually work. The guy in New York, they caught him or whatever. They're trying to squeeze particular information out of him. Mm-hmm. But this guy here says, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to kill myself so that they can't squeeze and reveal the real network of these hate groups. That's real, the real hate groups that's really going around killing our people. Right. That's what's happening. Mm-hmm. Exactly. The Dylan Roof, they were all part of that. Yep. And our people are asleep with this damn Christian garbage. They don't realize what's happening. They don't realize what's happening. They would rather kill themselves rather than to reveal that there's a whole network of terrorists coming to kill black and Hispanic people. Dang. That's the point. And the media is talking about something. He's off his psychotropic meds. No.
Right.
You better, brothers and sisters, you better wake up. Go ahead, Captain. Y'all want to say something?
Bishop, I'm a little speechless right now. I'm a little hot around my collar.
Yeah.
There's a lot that was dropped just in those trailers.
So I think, well, I did want to bring these points out. So let's finish this up and then we'll conclude for the night, brothers and sisters. We're going to continue this much longer. Yes, it ain't isolated. It ain't isolated at all. It is definitely a network. A network, and Christianity is blinding you to that. Right. Go ahead.
And rarely left his room since dropping out of college. Earlier this year, the suspect legally bought both weapons used in the attack.
How can you buy weapons if you have a mental issue?
Right. Background check. They have to do a background check.
All that.
And then ask that question there.
Hey, I heard the sheriff deal with that. He said that when he bought the weapons, he wasn't under any kind of subject. He said he bought them legally. I saw all that too. They trying to cover it because they know a lot of us know that. Yeah. You know. Wow. You know. So they're trying to get ahead of it because the woman that was asking the question about that. She was really trying to attack the NRA. Yeah. You know. So and people, trying to demonize it. So. The cop was ahead of he was ahead of the game on that. Give me the other video, the 8 minute. Then we're gonna close it up.
Sure. After reading that manifesto, how difficult is it for you to stand here and process this hate crime that entered your community? Very similar, almost a year after that horrific shooting in Buffalo, almost similar in nature.
I can tell you it angers me as a sheriff, as a member of this community. No family should ever have to deal with something like this. anyone who enters into a store and does this to perfectly innocent people, one doing his job, a couple of customers, is baffling to me. It's very difficult for me to watch, and I've seen a lot over 32 years. And I don't ever want to have to see it again, and I don't like it, and we are going to make sure that we work as hard as we can to stop these kind of things from happening again. That's why we are paying very close attention to this. We're doing so much to try to determine what exactly led to this. The manifesto is quite frankly the diary of a madman. He was just completely irrational. But with his irrational thoughts, he knew what he was doing. He was 100% lucid. He knew what he was doing. And again, it's disappointing that anyone would go to these lengths to hurt someone else.
Now pause it. In this, he said he was 100% lucid. He knew what he was doing, all of that. I find that problematic a little bit. The reason why is because the guy's already dead. But if he was alive, they've been trying to say that he was off his meds. Right. How could he do that? They've been trying to find some other way around it. But now that he's already dead, now they can say he was criminal, and they're going to try to boil all of their evil down to this one guy, down to the guy that did the thing in New York. Dylan Roof. Mm-hmm. Try to put it on a few of these when they all think that way. One last scripture, Genesis 27. 27. We're gonna read that because this is what black, including the sheriff, they don't understand what they're dealing with. They don't understand the mindset of these people.
Genesis chapter 27,
verse 30. Let me see.
38.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Read that.
Genesis chapter 27, verse 38.
Start 36.
Verse 36. And he said, is not he rightly named Jacob?
This is where the hatred came from. Go ahead.
For he hath supplanted me.
Well, the hatred was in the womb, by the way. When in Rebecca's womb. You got to realize that blacks and whites, because that's what you're looking at on the screen, this murder thing here. The man is there. There is no more of an enemy relationship that is greater than blacks and whites. Hence, that's why they named themselves white and they named us black. There are no two colors that are further apart than black and white. So they're going to call themselves white, but they ain't white at all. They're red. And they're going to call us black. We ain't black, we're brown. We're different shades of brown. But they call themselves black and white to show you that we are extreme polar opposites. Where do you read about that? In Genesis, the 25th chapter. Okay? And that hatred was in that boy since birth. And all of the people that came out of Esau think this way. As quiet as it's kept. That's what the Berlin Conference was about. That's what all of those different documents, they all think that way. Read.
For he hath supplanted me these 2 times.
Go ahead.
He took away my birthright. And behold, now he hath taken away my blessing.
We didn't take away his birthright. He gave it up. That's what Hebrews 12, the 12th chapter was talking about. He gave it away for a morsel of meat. Such a vain person and a fornicator. So go ahead.
And he said, hast thou not reserved a blessing for me?
This is what he was saying to Jacob, right?
Yes.
Isaac, right.
Yes, sir.
It's about Isaac. Isaac is the father. Jacob and Esau are the sons. Go ahead.
And Isaac answered and said unto Esau, behold, I have made him thy lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants.
That's Jacob. Jacob got that blessing. Go ahead.
And with corn and wine have I sustained him. And what shall I do now unto thee, my son?
What should I do unto you, Esau? Go ahead.
And Esau said unto his father, hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept.
Read.
And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth.
Thy dwelling shall be the best places of the earth. That's what the Berlin Conference was all about. Taking down the resources all over, just like you was bringing out, Captain. Yeah. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. This is what we're talking about here. The sheriff needs to understand that all you black people in the churches, your Christian pastors, they need to understand this here. Your spirit knows, if you're listening to this, your spirit knows that what you're hearing is the truth. But Christianity says, don't listen to them Israelites, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, you get another Dylan Roof to slide up in the church and take out some more of you.
Right.
Read.
And of the dew of heaven from above, And by thy sword shalt thou live.
And by thy weapons shalt thou live. You can't. If this don't explain Esau, there's no description of him, period. And by his weapons he take the planet Earth. This is crystal clear. So read on.
And shalt serve thy brother. And it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
And that's the earth given into the hand of the wicked. So they are looking to keep that. And whenever these Edomites feel like they're losing grip, they're going to start acting up like this here. Now let me show you I'm about to leave out the best part. Go to my pictures, because I had to deal with a Negro. Go to my pictures. Let's go to my pictures, my Instagram pictures.
You had to deal with
I had to deal with a Negro. Show me the pictures here. Not that. Go back to the pictures. Just bear with me, brothers. I'll need the pictures first. Before you show anything on the screen, let me see what you're doing. I need to see the full deal. Not just that. There was more stuff. Okay. That one on the end. Give me this one here. Right there. Show that. Breaking news. Jacksonville, Florida, mass shooting. This is one of our thumbnails that we put up on Instagram, okay? Esau's pride and hatred leads to violence. The wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined against us. This is recorded in Psalms, the 10th chapter, verse 2. So I want y'all to see that. This is depicting what happened to my brothers and my sister in Jacksonville, Florida, okay? So you're looking at Esau. He's the one that did it. Now give me the next one. There's another one. No. Go the other way, brothers. Go the other way. There was another picture. That one. Show that one. This is what Christianity has done. You can't be mad at this guy. This is what we saw in the beginning, the first video, where he went and hugged the woman. You can't be mad at this guy, then you go pray to this guy. You can't be mad at him because they're not. They're not mad at him. They weren't mad at Amber Geiger. They're not mad at anybody that do wickedness to us. There's always somebody talking about some forgive them. They ain't all this way. That's the Negro. And then why? Because they're Jesus to you. And this is the reason why they do what they do to us. Because our minds is nowhere near connected to our real spirit. Our minds is underneath the dope effect of Christianity. Now, go to the comments. Come out of this. Let me see what we got before we post it up. Let me see that one. There was one before this. There's one before this. Right there. This is one of the comments on the show that. This is what one of the brothers or one of the sisters posted on the thing that we just saw, the Instagram pictures about us, about how Esau is with us, killing our people. This is Ezekiel 35, verse 5 and 6. This is what the sister, Princess, Ayana. She wrote this here. She quoted this from the Bible. Okay, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. That's what we just read, his blessing, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. That's the revenge that the Most High is going to allow us to get, okay? That's why he says it in the Bible. Give me my next picture. I don't need no more of that. Give me my next one. Now, come out of that. That one there. Zoom in on that one. Now we're going to read, go from the top, read that.
There is nothing new under the sun.
This is one, somebody posted this. Go ahead.
Wake up. Every last one of them hates us forever and ever.
This is what the Spirit is telling us because that's what we see. Like Malcolm X said, you trying to tell me about some nice snakes. I'll go in a snake den and there's 1,000 snakes there and you're trying to tell me that 3 of them are nice. I don't need to know about the 3 that are nice. I got to worry about all of them.
Right.
Okay? Go ahead.
Ecclesiastes chapter 1, verse 9. The thing that had been, it is that which shall be. And that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun.
These people are going to remain to be the devils. Move up. Move up. Listen to this. Here comes the Negro. Oh, my God. Here comes the Negro. You know I had to get his behind. Read that. This is what we saw at the beginning of the film.
Right.
Read that.
A_heart for Jesus Christ.
That's Christianity. That's Christianity. That damn brain. That damn brain that's disconnected. That's wedged from the spirit. Read.
Not all white feels this way. Is wrong to categorize all of them like this.
That was for white people. That was, Master, please don't look at all of us. Please love some of us. Please, you understand what I'm saying? Here, that's a Negro. I didn't even have to ask. I know that's a Negro that wrote that. Right. A Negro in Christianity. Not all whites feel this way. Why would you say that? Because you know the white man is going to get mad. And the way we are trained to see to white people's comfort. So when these things happen, white folks, some of them might be upset because they know that people are going to look at them like, you know what, your guys are really the devils. Right. Here goes a Negro said, no, don't call him all that. Now, give me my comment, my answer to his. Okay. Read that.
I wonder why. Not really, because I know the answer.
Yes, because my meaning, I'm dealing with him now. I said, I wonder why. And then I said, not really, because I really know. I better read since I wrote it. I said, I wonder why did we get Negroes to answer like this here? That's what I was saying. I said, not really, because I know the answer already. But why is it that someone from our race always finds the words to say it's not all whites? I should have been an exclamation slip up there. It wasn't a question mark. It's not all whites. But when a small group of blacks do something heinous, you don't hear that fearful rhetoric coming from the other side, especially in the news or his story books, coming in defense of those good ones of us. You don't hear that. You don't hear nobody say it's not all blacks. You don't hear nobody say none of that at all. Whenever we had like the Central Park and all of that, the Central Park 5 or anything, and those boys were innocent. Trump wanted them guys to get the death penalty. That's right. Trump wanted those guys took a full-page ad in the New York City paper to have those boys executed, and none of them were even, some of them weren't even in the park, period.
Right. And nobody came forward.
Nobody
came forward. They're nice.
Nobody said no. Nobody, nothing at all. So you don't get this kind of argument when it's us. Nobody comes and says it's not all blacks. When one black guy does something, they put us all in that box, and you don't hear nobody saying anything. A Negro won't even bring that out. But here comes a white man that's straight up killing, going inside, literally committing terrorists. They're saying, we hate you niggers. They go to a Tops store in New York thinking that, Tops is like where the smaller young people, where the blacks go at, like Family Dollar. They figure these people ain't got no money, so they're going to go shop at these kinds of stores anyway. So if you want to get the most black people killed, go to where they frequent at. So that's their thoughts, and that's the mindset of all of them. Why do you think Dylan Roof went inside a black church? Because black people are in there. Why do you think that they wanted to go on the black campuses? He got turned away, but there's black people there. That's what their mission is, to kill black people. Right. I'm not starting a riot. I'm telling you the damn truth.
Right.
Okay? But why is this Negro running around talking about some not all whites? You want to know why he's saying that? Because he's afraid. That's why I call it fearful rhetoric.
Right.
Because he's afraid. He knows that if somebody don't speak up and rub the white man's conscience, black people get lynched. He knows that in his spirit. He knows that. He said if we don't appease white fear, somebody in black America going to catch hell. But he can't say that.
Don't talk about massa.
Don't talk about massa. Don't you know that massa's coming?
You're going to get us in trouble.
You're going to get us in trouble talking like that. I'm going to read that. That's what I'm saying. I said, why is it that someone from our race always finds the words to say it's not all whites? The reason why it's because because they are afraid. They bring that fearful rhetoric, meaning that they have to say that because they know that white folks, if there's not a Negro that says, you better get up there and make us feel good or we're going to come after you. Black people live in this kind of fear all the time. He's just another one. The same person that wrote that statement that I'm responding to, he's just as fearful as the rest of the people that I'm speaking about. And he's got a Christian, what is it? What was the thing again? For Jesus Christ?
A heart for Jesus.
Heart for Jesus.
I think it was it looked like a black woman symbol.
Yeah, that's black people.
Yeah.
That's black people. That's how messed up we are. That's how messed up we are. Afraid. So, go ahead, brothers. We're closing out. we're gonna continue the subject next week, Lord willing. Okay, I'm gonna stop there. Y'all got anything, captains, brothers?
Hey, Bishop, I think you pretty much said it all, summed it up. They need to go back and watch, likewise myself, and watch those documentaries. And, it seems like as more and more we grow in this truth, things start coming together. The pieces and the parts really start manifesting more and more in our mind and our spirit as we lining up. So all praise to the Most High.
Yes, sir.
You want to read that, Officer Liger?
Yes, sir. Don't neglect to give alms. For those who would like to give alms, fill out an envelope and place it in the alms box. To give alms online, donate to IUIC Concord via PayPal at iuic.concord.nc@israelunite.org. Donate to the Booster Club via PayPal at iuic.fundraising@israelunite.org.
All praise to the Most High. Anything else? Also, I know that, we ain't got our slides up there. Brothers and sisters, we'll see you again, Lord willing, next week. Most High in Christ bless you all.
Yes,
Happy
indeed.
Sabbath. Most High in Christ bless you. Be safe. Keep your minds up. Stay in the scriptures. Study, pray, and apply. Keep these commandments because the times are going to get crazy out here. All
Yes.
right? All praise to the Most High.
All praise.
Shalom, Israel.
Shalom, Israel. Most High in Christ bless.
Shalom.
Happy
Most High in
Sabbath.
Christ bless.
Happy Sabbath.